Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Fate Weaver tonight, because tonight we are taking out a brand new game to us for a spin, and that would be Ryan Vernier's very cool Blackbirds Gothic Fantasy RPG. It's a very busy cover, so I guess you can't really see it, but you can see it better on the screen, I imagine. And mine's backwards anyway. This is a brand new game released about maybe within a month ago, and it is one of the powered by Zweihander RPGs that has been released in the past 2 years. Spin-offs and refinements or changes, I guess, from the base Zweihander system. This one is published by, it still is published by Andrews McNeil. I think I got that name right as well. Yep. Same publisher as Flames of Freedom and as Zweihander itself, but it has a different game director for this, so it's got a very different feel to it. And joining me for our maiden voyage with Blackbirds are two veterans of the channel. I'll introduce you guys in the order we got you on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing? I mean, you're playing a pre-gen, but we'll learn about them in a moment. First up, we've got Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Adeliza, and I don't know much about her other than she likes to fight with a long sword, and that's it.
Nice. And joining him as well is Sean.
Hey, I'm playing Ferkus Kazal, and he's a Nephilim. How about that?
Nice. So there are, like in a lot of other RPGs, Blackbirds has non-humans in it as well. It is a mostly human-focused RPG. I'll give a little, I guess, like before we talk about the actual mechanics, so I'll tell you a little bit about how they see the setting and the style of play that you're going to get from the game, because I think it's interesting. One of the things I'd mentioned before when I was offline, when I was talking to the guys about the game, one of the things that excited me about this is I think it's a really, really interesting combination of a gritty setting with an optimistic feel. So it is definitely a grim and gritty and potentially lethal, game. Your characters are a little more cut above the rest than what you see in the first iteration of Zweihander. They're not calling it second edition, but the first versions of Zweihander that were published before the most recent starter set, or base characters in Warhammer Fantasy. What they say is a darker, grittier fantasy. This is a little text box in the book. The subgenres of fantasy can be challenging to chart, a labyrinth of interlocking ideas more incestuous than a pedigreed royal family. Blackbirds is a darker, grittier fantasy and can be summarized as an alchemical reduction of three literary styles of fiction: low fantasy, epic fantasy, and grimdark fantasy. The dead rise, magic is real, and a concealed dagger is as deadly as a polished longsword. Nobility and morality are in no way related. Every battle is a matter of life and death. Very little is guaranteed, especially the lives of the characters we like. But there are romantic elements, and a doomed world may also still be beautiful, permeated as it is with melancholic charm. So then they go into a bit about like how they see the different elements of it. But I just think it's interesting that rather than going for a strictly dark fantasy or horror fantasy, the game, I've seen them refer to it since as Gothic Fantasy, a Gothic Fantasy RPG, and I think it's a good assessment because it's atmospheric but not quite as fatalistic as some of the other like grim and grimdark type games. So I say that because you'll see that there are a fair amount of ways that your characters can take advantage of not only narrative metacurrency but also some other abilities to really stand a cut above. Let's very quickly talk about what your characters are, because there's some decisions you guys will have to make before we start going. One of the things is at the start of every session, what we do, just like in Zweihander, is we roll initiative. So if you could click on, the tokens are the ones that have your names on them, your character names, not the big ones. I wanted to have both a big portrait for your guys and the little head thing, but the little head things are your token. The initiative is found on the combat tab of the character sheet, the second one over from the right, and initiative is a little further down on the page, I believe on the right. So click on your token, click on initiative, Initiative in this is 1d10 plus, I think it's +3 plus your perception modifier. Nice roll.
Wait,
Holy
sorry, did you
smokes.
say it was on the main tab?
No, it's on the combat tab.
Oh, sorry, combat. That's what you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Great. Okay.
Thanks.
Next thing we do is you will have, so if we were playing this in person, what we would have is, well, we might have, if you either supported the Kickstarter or at the when they eventually get around to it, they offer print versions through Drive-Thru RPG. You have cards that represent the things that represent your talents and your techniques. Each character is made up, just like if you look at your character sheet, some of it will seem very similar to either Zweihander or, I mean, to be honest, many of the other, D100 base games we play. You'll see on the main tab, there are near the second section of the rules. You'll see your primary attributes, and then next to that, you will see a number of skills. Now, the skills in this, at the time of recording, they don't have a Roll20 version of the sheet for Blackbirds. They have one that can be used for Zweihander or for Flames of Freedom, but the skills are close enough that we can actually use them pretty well. I'll talk about what the difference is with talents and techniques in a moment, because that's something that's new to Blackbirds. But basically, the way it works is there's two kinds of skills in it. There's common skills, and there are, I think it's special skills. Special skills you can't use without training. Anything that's got a little asterisk next to it, you generally can't use it without training. So like alchemy, folklore, education, stuff like that. If you don't have training in it, you're not going to be able to use it. I think, hold on. Is folklore a common skill? I just want to make sure I've got that right. Let's see. Otherwise, the skills are basically based off of your stats, and then as you gain levels in them. No, folklore is a common skill as well. I don't know why it's got an asterisk next to it. What you do is you're going to use, you can use the skills. Like when I ask you to make a skill check, you just click on it. If you don't have any levels of training in it, there's not like we saw in Rogue Trader, there's not like specific numbers in it. It's really just apprentice, I think expert and master or something like that. Each adds plus 10 to the governing stat. There's also something that is a bonus. You see where it says CB underneath, or it's the stat plus the B. It's the bonus, a combat bonus, brawn bonus, agility bonus. Those come into play, particularly in combat or in like adventure or initiative, but they also for contested rolls. One of the ways we do tiebreakers in it is you make your roll, we figure out how much lower than what was needed the tens digit is, and then you add your bonus to it. Rather than seeing your raw stats go up, what you'll see is your bonuses will go up over the course of your character training. Your skills can go up, but the actual raw stats themselves do not. So you've got skills, and you've got the attributes that are based off of. The other thing that this has that is we did see in, I guess, Rogue Trader, is talents and traits. There's traits, talents, and techniques in Blackbirds. Traits are things that you always have. If you've got that, so like your boon and your bane, those are things you always have. You cannot get away from them. Anything that is listed as a talent or a technique is something you can slot in or slot out. If we were playing in person, what you'd have is, just like in Zweihander, there are 3 tiers of play. Basic, I can't remember what the next one is, intermediate and advanced. At each tier, you gain access to 1 talent slot and 1 technique slot. You can put those 2 things in there. So you would, if we're playing it, as part of the character sheet, there is an actual sheet where you can lay down those cards. The reason that's you do that is because you can every night you undertake what's called a rekindling. It's kind of like a long rest. A rekindling gives you an opportunity to take out your talents and your techniques and replace them if you want to. As long as they are not extinguished, you can also spend a fortune point, which you guys share the pool of, to automatically swap one out for another. Now, each of you has only 1 talent, so your talent I've left open, and then each of you has 2 techniques. So what you'll be choosing is which of the techniques you want to have slotted to start with. If you click down on the arrow key, it'll open up that technique. And what I thought would be a handy way of doing this is whichever one is slotted, have that one open. Okay? The techniques are different. Talents just give you a flat sort of like a bonus or a special way of doing things. Like, for instance, Adelaza, you have plus 10 to all your skill tests when you're engaged with only one enemy. You also are pretty good against others because your lone wolf thing, when you are facing more than one foe, or when you guys are outnumbered, you also do 1 extra dice of damage. So you're pretty good at kicking ass, whether it's individuals or groups. What you'll be choosing is either through the Agitite Swordmaster technique or your longsword technique. Each of the techniques gives you generally one kind of action to do, sort of a reaction, and then what's called an extinguish ability. An extinguish ability is kind of like a daily thing. Once you use it, you would turn over the card. You cannot use the technique for anything else afterwards, but they're usually really badass. Like you'll see, Farrakis, one of yours allows you to kill something automatically with range. That's what a lot of these do. So, for instance, on yours, if you took, say, Agitite Swordmaster as your thing, and you decided to extinguish it for 3 action points, it says the Blackbird circles their enemies in a slow, threatening posture with sword in hand until the end of the combat scene. Any enemy entering or crossing within strides of the Blackbird's position is struck down in a flash and instantly slain. If the Blackbird takes any actions other than the maneuver, it will end this effect. So these are, I mentioned that there are certain ways the characters, beyond just the narrative metacurrency, that's a hugely powerful fucking ability. And they're limited in a way because, you know, like as soon as you do something different or whatever, then, you know, you're going to lose that ability. It also means you can't use the other things like your Borovoy's Guard. For 1 action until the next turn, parry and dodge actions are 0 AP. The reason that's super useful is normally you have to save action points. Just like in Pathfinder 2, you get 3 action points at the start of your round, and you get to use those to move, to attack, and you, if you wanted to defend with them, normally you need to save 1. What that would allow you to do is spend 1 to take as many defenses as you want. So really helpful against fighting more than one thing. And you can see there's also a 0 AP. That means it doesn't cost you any actions. So when that's slotted in, Jeff, you get access to all of those. Ditto for you, Farrakis. For your abilities, I think yours are... One is more of a sneaky... Let me see here. One is a sneak up and kill people stuff, and one is a disengage type thing. So like...
And how many do we slot again?
So the techniques, you're only going to have 1. At basic tier, you only have 1.
Okay.
Once you get to expert tier, you will then have 2.
And talent we get, you know, we have 1 and we get it.
Technically, you can slot out for other talents, but you don't have any other talents yet. When you make the character, what you get is you get a certain amount of like advancements, and then you pick what you want to have. So I gave you guys a mix of like buffed up some skills, buffed up some of your bonuses, and then also made sure that each of you had at least 2 techniques so you could, you know, mix and match. I went off of what they did with the pre-gens in the Quick Start. To have something similar, and it's something that I think is really cool about the game is being able to swap out those techniques. And again, at any time, as long as it's not extinguished, you can just swap out, spend if you've got 1 in there and you need something else, spend a fortune point, and you can swap out techniques. That makes sense?
Is it fate point? Is that the same thing?
No, fate points are something you do not have. Only humans have them. The dwarves, and they have, I think there's a name for them in the setting as well. Erd, I think, but they can earn fate points, but they don't start with them. Okay. Fortune points.
I see
you share
traits, talent. Okay, and it says other. There's something other.
So
on here
I would
too.
keep them open so you remember what's slotted.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that's why I had them those open. The other things like your Whispers of Stolen Lore. Oh, that's actually a really cool one too. So this is one of your Nephilim things. For 1, you have what's called Odd Sight. The odd is effectively like the parallel to this world magical world. You have an ability to actually see into that and see. It's very much like a sensing in other games, or like aura reading. When people see you doing that in the astral plane, an actual third eye opens in your forehead. You also have some kind of unnatural quality about you. This is only manifested in the last 2 years. The Nephilim are the descendants of what are they called? Not thaumaturgists. They are called. One sec here. There's a specific name for magic workers in this, and let me find it for you. They made bargains with outsiders that were binding on all of their generations that came after, and then when the gods died and the world, the gap between the worlds was shattered, that those long due debts became due, and suddenly Nephilim, who through no fault of their own found themselves hearing whispers in their voice, in their ears. And every day you wake up, you gain another point of tithe. At 10 points of tithe, you have to suffer a -10 to all your skill checks. At 30 tithe, you die. But if you listen to those whispers, you reduce your tithe. And it was the name for, is Theurgs. Yeah. Okay. The other thing is you have, as a legacy of the Court of Ignorance, which is one of the rival courts in the Outsiders, whoever the bargain was with, that's with you. Once between rekindlings, the Nephilim can immediately know the location and purpose of an ancient hidden entrance, trap, object, or being. It should be the target must be over 99 years old, and a Nephilim must be physically near it. What is revealed is entirely in the discretion of the Fate Weaver, but that's something you get. And like if you were playing a character from a different court, you would have a different boon from that. Yeah, so like for instance, your finesse, talent's always slotted. What it always allows you to do is you can use skullduggery in place of intimidate and charm. And then go ahead.
And those, the Prowler's you're probably going right to it anyway. Prowler and Unblinking Eye.
Yes, so those are the ones, and see, if you open it up, you see, I've also got card versions of each of these as well in PDF for you. So these are the, where is it here? Boom, there we go. Show players. So this is the PDF version of it, and it has the actual cards on it. So this is what would be sitting in front of you. There's, like, for instance, Prowler gives you a passive bonus of +10 to stealth checks. If you've got that slotted, you're going to get +10 to stealth checks regardless. And it doesn't take you any actions or any actions or any active focus or anything like that. You have a 2 AP, 2 action point surprise action. Target one surprised enemy who is engaged with a Blackbird. With a successful stealth chest, they're able to silently subdue the enemy without causing damage, rendering them helpless. So this is your, taking out a chump. And then your extinguish action for Prowler is Adieu. If you're fighting alone, immediately end the combat and describe how you get to safety.
Yeah.
So that is, and then Unblinking Eye is just the other technique you have. This is the one that you kill someone automatically. If someone choose a target the Blackbird can hit with a ranged weapon, which in your case is a throwing dagger, the target is slain, full stop. If the weapon fires...
out of those others, you have to choose one or to slot?
No, you choose. So imagine this is all in one card. So you have one card that says Unblinking Eye. That is the technique, and it gives you access to all of those different effects. Yep. And you also have Prowler, which gives you all the different effects. You choose which of those two is slotted at present, and then you can swap it out either when you do a rekindling or when you spend a fortune point.
So one of the others, the so-called other, one of those, you get one.
Yes, the reason they're listed as other on this is because this character sheet does not have technique. A technique is different from a talent or a trait. Trait is something you always have regardless. Talent is something you slot on one side, and a technique is slotted on the other. The talent gives you a persisting single effect. The technique will give you 2 other actions or benefits, and then 1 extinguish ability. Every one of the techniques gives you an extinguish ability. That's the really badass thing about it. So, does that make sense, guys?
Mm-hmm.
And can you guess what decision I'm going to ask you to make right now?
Slotting.
Yes. Decide which one. You guys are traveling over land. Your army has been decimated. You are a pair who have fallen in together, and we'll talk about why in a moment. You are, traveling effectively with the clothes on your back, and that's really it. So
I'm going to go with the Agitite Swordmaster.
Nice, okay. So just have that open on your character sheet.
Yeah, I have that one expanded and the other one minimized.
Nice. Okay.
Guess I'll go with Whispers of Stolen Lore.
So this is why I wanted to have both in there, because it makes for an interesting decision.
Mm-hmm.
And the fortune points are, so the way the fortune points work is you spend it, it becomes a misfortune point, or misfortune coin, and then I can spend the misfortune to do some stuff. I can fuck around with it. It's free-flowing. It's expected to be a free-flowing back and forth of those things.
That's the yellow-red, right?
Yes, we're using for this, yeah. If we can come up with a better way of doing it, maybe there's a macro or something.
That's fine. But I get used to it. I just wasn't sure.
So, Farrakis, which are you selecting?
Speaking of the techniques, right?
Yes. Which of the 2 are you going to slot right now? Now, you don't have to slot either, but like, there's really no reason why you wouldn't slot at least one of them.
Right.
Particularly the one that gives you the passive bonus.
Because even if you didn't slot either of them, it would still cost you a fate to slot one of them in the midst of play.
In the midst of play, it would cost fortune. Remember, fate and fortune are different things.
Fortune. I meant fortune. Yeah.
Fortune points.
That's what it is.
Fortune points are a much more disposable.
Gotcha.
What do you call it? Narrative meta currency.
I see. Come and go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Range versus sneaking, I suppose. I guess I'll go sneaking. I'll go Prowler.
Okay. So just have that one expanded and the other one closed. And remember, you have slotted currently your finesse ability, so you can use your skullduggery in place of charm or of what do you call it? I'm going to add one more character sheet so I can access and read off stuff for you without disrupting your guys' play here. Fate Weaver's sheet. Love the name of the game master in the game too. I'm a sucker for, as you guys know.
Fate Weaver, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, each story, I mentioned this before we went live, but each session is called a weaving. And there are certain things. At the start of each weaving, at the start of each weaving, you recalculate the fortune pool. Fortune pool is always 2 times, so you take the number of players who are playing non-ice characters, so non-elf characters, and multiply that, plus the Fate Weaver, multiply that by 2, that's the starting point for the fortune. All points start in the fortune pool. The misfortune pool starts at 0. So, it's not quite as necessary for the flow of play to have misfortune. There are certain things that are like, a lot of monsters have misfortune abilities. I have to spend misfortune to use them, but so like, it's good to have those things, but it's not quite as crucial as what it is in, say, the 2D20 games to have Doom or whatever Strife or Heat or whatever they call the mechanic in that game. So guys.
And you have no access to misfortune except for that, right? Except for the red pool, right?
Except for that pool, yep. I don't have any other narrative meta currency that I can use. No, like Dark Fate or anything like that. It's very hero empowering, and there's lots of ways. So let's maybe talk about quickly fortune. Just so I'll throw these ideas out there for you. Let's talk about the pretty, not banal, but pretty bog standard ways you can use fate use fortune. You got me doing it now. So here's what fortune can be used.
They're a little bit, yeah.
Fortune can be used for one to swap out a talent or technique that is currently slotted, as long as it's not extinguished. Once it's extinguished, you have to get a rekindling to do that. 2, you can use it to power the effects of certain abilities. I don't think you guys have any abilities that require fortune points being spent. 3,
when you can extinguish. You mean used? Extinguish is used once.
Yes. So you remember the third action on every technique is an extinguish action. It requires 3 AP to do, so it requires all of your actions, but that's the real powerful one. And when you do that, if you're playing in person, you flip the card over, and until you that slot is extinguished until you rekindle, until you get a night's sleep.
But you can use the other ones that are not extinguishing effects, and it continues.
Well, so your talent keeps going, but at basic tier, remember, you've only got 1 technique slot and 1 talent slot. Once you hit intermediate, then you've got 2, and you can extinguish 1 and still leave the other one open.
But I mean, like on Prowler, it has 3 effects and only 1.
So don't make make sure you're not confusing effects and slots. Remember, that's just like a card. What's listed on that card, so long as it's not extinguished, you can make free use of. But when you use that ability that extinguishes it, then it means that slot is extinguished and you lose all of those abilities.
Yeah, that's all I said. Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So the fortune can be spent after the results of a skill test, as long as there isn't. So you can re-roll a skill check as long as it's not a critical fail. Critical result is a double. If it's a double and you fail, double succeed, it's a critical result. Criticals aren't as critical in this as they are in other games. And then there is sublime. Sublime is rolling a 1 or rolling a 100. If you roll those, you can't re-roll. Otherwise, you can spend a fortune point to re-roll. You can spend a fortune point to get an extra action point. You need to get that dodge off, or you need to get another attack off, or whatever. Spend a fortune point and get an action point. You can spend a fortune point to make a 6, roll a 6. You're usually rolling that for damage. And damage dice explode in this game, just like in Zweihander. So if you want to make sure that it hits a real big one, spend a fortune point, count it as a 6, and roll your damage. You're basically adding 6 to the damage of what you're rolling. You can spend a fortune point to force yourself higher on the initiative ladder. So once initiative is rolled, you can spend a fortune point to move up it. And you can also spend 1 fortune point to increase your peril track. And we'll talk about what that is when it comes up. So those are all pretty standard things that you can spend your fortune points on, right? Things we see in other games. There are 3 other things that tie into the idea of you being Blackbirds, linked to the tree Yggdrasil, the Tree of Fate, and the death of the Norns. Those are for Erd's voice. That is where you can spend a point to affect the past. You can retroactively spend a point, add in a flashback to change the present. The second is you can use Verdandi's Embrace, spend a point to change. What is it here? To lend your. To change an element of the present, which includes giving one of your weapons an enchanted quality for 1 scene. So if you're facing something that can only be harmed by enchanted things, you can spend a fortune point to have your weapon enchanted for the round. And then third is Skull's Vision. This is in the future. You can spend a fortune point to ask me a question. So those can be, like the example they give is, are there any traps for us ahead? And the Fate Weaver would answer, no, the area in front is not trapped. But that could fail to mention that at the end of the corridor is a sleeping guard who might be awakened. So it's your typical, oracular, stuff in a role-playing game. So those are 3 things I think are really neat too. You change the past with Erd's, Erd's Vision? Urd's vision, alter the present with Verdandi's embrace, or see the future with Skuld's vision. Oh, Urd's voice is changing the past. So that's a lot of ways you can spend it. I'll remind you guys as we go through if the opportunity presents itself. Otherwise,
and Kev, to be clear, as you use fortune, it becomes misfortune, and goes back and forth.
Exactly. And then as I spend misfortune, it goes right back into fortune again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it seems as if it is intended that it's spent fast and loose. The game seems as if it's intended to play a lot more with a lot more narrative intrusion with meta currency or narrative meta currency than say like Rogue Trader or those 40K games or Warhammer. You're definitely, this is the way they sort of put the thumb on the scale so you guys feel more heroic.
FFG was like that too, where it's pretty free flowing,
Which is
the FFG Star Wars.
Totally, it definitely. It's definitely takes cues more from the modern kind of narrative meta currency games. So, anyway, that's the game in a nutshell.
There's a pretty good list on page just for our a complete list on page 26, probably.
Yes, to
keep that in mind, Jeff. For a nice complete one sentence per use, so keep 26 kind of I'm writing it down that's a good spot. That's a good list to keep.
Yeah, I couldn't load the PDF.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Andrews
6,
MacLeod does
5,
not
7.
really do condensed versions of the PDF, so it was way too fucking big to load into Roll20. So I wasn't able to do that in here. So let's talk about the setting. So. This is, let me bring you over to the map very quickly here. These are the lands of Erebos. The Republic of Erebos lasted for roughly 1,000 years. And then, 12 years ago, everything seemed to fall apart. And what started as a civil war between the various kingdoms, or a series of different wars between the kingdoms, accelerated to the point to become what's now known as the War of Empty Thrones. For more than a decade, almost every nation or every kingdom and whatnot has gone to war with others, or in some cases with themselves, or has undergone some kind of dramatic revolution at home. 2 years ago is when this event called the Extinguishing happened. What you as the players know, but your characters do not, is that it turns out that there was a group of individuals who were just referred to as the oligarchs, who were behind this plot to throw the entire republic into war. This aim of that goal was to amass enough power to use the world tree, Yggdrasil, to climb up to heaven, murder the gods, and steal their power. And that's what happened. They were
successful, essentially.
That was the Extinguishing. And where our story starts is 2 years after that event. That's important to know because, for one, the gods are gone, but because there's been 12 years straight of brutal war, not everyone believes that. Also, whatever's happened, as the players, you will know that one of the sort of looming plot elements is that the oligarchs are gestating right now. The power of gods would just annihilate a mortal presence, even one as powerful and whatever else is the oligarchs. So they need to be transformed into something else. But because they are doing that, and because they are all so damaged by that experience, it's bleeding over into the world itself. So the shattering of Yggdrasil has led to corruption in the northern lands in Thule, and particularly in the capital, Thule, High Salt, around that region. Every other region has some similar thing that's sort of happening as the oligarchs are slowly ascending to godhood. Apotheosis is expected to be just devastating for the world. Where our story takes place is in the kingdom of Elkland. Elkland is in the midst of a civil war. In addition to the conflict with the other kingdoms, its border, Garia lost its king, so it's sort of a similar sort of like squabbling for the throne. Elkland has a different problem because it is two rivals, King Volt and Grand Duke Noyles, who are fighting one another. Really, after 12 years of war, it doesn't really matter. You know, everyone has changed sides, at least at one point, and what the locals refer to it now is the Betrayers' War, because everyone has changed sides seemingly at some point in the conflict. And what it meant for the small folk is that they're just suffering. They're continually having people fight among them. If you think of the 30 Years' War in Germany, that's very much what Elkland has sort of been. It's a place that's been ground to dust by the churning of different armies fighting one another. The only difference with the 30 Years' War is you're not having proxy wars fought in here. But you might as well have, with how, violent and how pernicious and persisting the conflict has been. People are betraying allies and whatnot. So when you think something may be slowing down in one place, it suddenly kicks off again. Some may say it's because the lands of Erebos are abandoned by the gods. Others would say there's other forces at work here. Magic is present in here, but Theurgs are pretty much thought of as criminals. They deal with, to get magic, you have to deal with outsiders, which are kind of like demons. So because of that, and because of the threat of them, no one in their right mind would deal with them. You can play one, but you really got to be careful who you're using magic around and whatnot, because while magic is quite powerful, it is very frowned upon. And there is, in the south, one of the newly emerging gods has an order of paladins called the Sigillites, who are sort of on a crusade against mages even more aggressively than what has been in the past.
And all magic is deity based.
No, it's all with the outsider. It's all bargaining with outsiders. It said that there was at one point another kind of magic, but this is the only kind that is available now. Oh, that's not true. No, there is two kinds of magic. There's also one called, is it called Weirdcraft? It's one of the skills that doesn't, that exists in Blackbirds, but doesn't exist in Wart Cunning is what it's called. I don't need to look it up. Wart Cunning is the only kind of magic that you can work. It's like folk magic. It's rituals and takes longer to do. Stuff is safe and is approved, but it's called Invocation. Oh, Oddweft. And Invocation. No, Oddweft is the one in Blackbirds. Invocation is in the other game. That is how you work magic. Oddweft and the use of Odic magic is extremely outlawed. Use of Wart Cunning is just like science. So, but they do very different things. It's not like, like say AD&D where you kind of see clerics and there's a lot of overlap between their abilities. Wart Cunning and Oddwork is very, very different. Most of the stuff you would expect for very powerful, like fantasy type magic, that's what you get from making bargains with outsiders. And one thing, last thing I'll mention, just so you know what these characters would look like going forward. Each of your characters picks a career for their tier. Adaleza is a bow and blade path, and then Farrakis is of the shadow and subterfuge, or subterfuge and shadow path. But at the next tier, you can choose anyone to go into. There are certain prerequisites to access certain things. So, like by not concentrating on one, you may be at the expense of another. But if you decide over the course of play, and the fate of your hero is to become a spellcaster, at the next tier, you could take the path of I can't remember what it's called, but it's the path that leads to spellcasting. So you're able to mix and match a character, or just hyper specialize over the course of the 3 tiers. So our tale takes place in Elkland. You two have one thing we're not going to worry about. There is an alignment system in this as well too. It's not going to come up in the course of a one shot. So it does exist. We're just not going to talk about it. We're not going to use it in this game. you guys are... I'm not sure you even remember who it was you were fighting for, but the two of you were mercenaries in a army. And it turns out that the army was unsuccessful. There isn't like specific coinage. All wealth in this game is abstracted. It's very much kind of similar to how it does it in 2D20 Conan in Adventures in Age Undreamed Of, where you get like bundles of gold or whatever, you know, and it's supposed to represent however much. It's similar to that. There are different tiers of patronage, and if you've got a patron, you can gain access to a bunch of stuff and basically anything up to that. If you don't have that, then you need to be like picking pockets or, you know, bartering or whatnot. The one thing that the game does in a really interesting way is to capture that hard Scrabble, you know, like down to your last dime kind of stuff, but without having to actually track money and coins and whatnot, and give you a reason to try and seek out patrons and whatnot. So for instance, because you have 0 patrons and you have 0 money, you would not be able to sleep anywhere. Like, you're going to have to find a dangerous fucking place to sleep because they will kick you out of where you might sleep. So our scene opens with our heroes marching along a muddy forest road. This looks like it has been trodden quite well, but it's in the middle of a thick coniferous forest. And you two are traveling alone. You have what is listed on your... I can't remember if I gave you all your trappings. Let me double check. In fact, I think I fucked up because I did give the others. Let me tell you what you have on you, and you tell me if I forgot anything. Because you get this from your path. Oh no, you... where is it here?
Trappings. I'm pretty sure my sheet says 0 trappings.
Yeah, you have your sword and you have a shiv. And then Farrakis has 2 shivs and a... what do you call it? And a throwing dagger. But let me see here. There is... I think you do start off...
I mean, I have technically some armor on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got your... what do you call it? Your gambeson. Yeah, where is it here? So there is, like, bandages have a use. Let's see, our trappings. Oh boy, do you really not start with anything else? Holy shit. Okay, so you have,
we have each other.
You have each other. And
kind of cold ground to lay on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Path of Shadow, here we go. So here's what you have, Farrakis. You have a dose of venom or toxin. You have a pair of dice or a deck of playing cards. And then you have dark clothing. Let me double check and see if there's in the trappings chapter, if they do say you start with anything else. Because if you do, I don't want to...
The first one was a potion? Did you say a potion?
Is a poison or a toxin. It's your suicide. That's what it gives you. If you want to get yourself out of,
right,
you know, your troubles already.
The ultimate exit.
Yes, it has been. What you guys got out of there with was with each other. Now, let me tell you about. I mentioned that the reason you're called Blackbirds in the game is because of that fragment of fate, the ember that blew off through the odd. After the death of the Norns, the burning of Yggdrasil, and each has lodged in you. You guys did not know one another before. I think what brought you guys together is a shared dream. You guys had been dreaming regularly of an enormous, when I say enormous, I mean like blotting out the fucking sky tree. And I'll leave it to you to figure out what... This is something that you did not have before, and it suddenly happened. And Farrakis, this was very different from the whispers that you hear in your ear every day. The whispers of whatever outsider it is. One neat thing with the Nephilim is that you generally, you can learn who it is that you're that you're connected to, you're linked to or pacted to over the course of play, but you don't have it. Like, you don't necessarily see or know or whatever else. And they may communicate with you in all sorts of different ways. Like, it could be that you wake up with parchment written on your thing every day. You may have every morning you have something scrawled out in your hand on your bedroom wall or whatever. Like, you may have a tune in your head that you wake up with. Like, you're completely, whatever your devious mind can come up with as the way that it manifests is completely yours, and you may not know the identity of that outsider. But you are traveling along. You are drenched. You are distinctly uncomfortable, and you're broke. Now, let's do two things. For one, because it has been 2 days since you slept or ate, you have really been... you tried sleeping the first night, but then you found there were outriders from the victorious army, so you decided to spend 2 days just beating feet and getting as much distance between where you were and where you are now. After some discussion, Farracus, the nearest seemingly neutral, at least neutral now, city is a place called Norham. Norham, you have contacts in the underworld there, and you may be able to, at the very least, get some work to get yourselves some footing. I don't think it's this most recent battles when you guys fell in together. I think that you guys have been together for 2 years since the extinguishing occurred. You guys shortly thereafter fell in together and have been adventuring sort of, Fufford and the Grey Mouser style for a year and a half through these burned lands. How does that sound, guys?
And we're as poor as ever for those 18 months. Lisa.
It's feast or famine, man. Like, it's just you seemingly
just horrible.
Always manage to pick the wrong side. Now, two things we're going to do. First off is I would like each of you to go on your character sheet, and you'll see there is something called corruption on there. There's chaos dice and corruption right at the top.
Yeah.
So in those are just kinds of dice. In Blackbirds, they're actually called, I think it's damage dice and bane dice. What I'd like you to do, the D10s are the bane dice, the D6 are the regular dice. Could you guys please put 2 corruption dice on there and hit roll? So you just put +2, make it so there's 2 next to the corruption, then hit the D10. It should roll this for you. Oh, you know what? Hold on. No, I fucked it up. Let me see here. Expand. That's not how this works. That's the thing you do at the end of each weaving to test your morality or whatnot. Oh, did you lose your voice or did you lose my voice? Hold on here.
I'm back, I think.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I screwed up. That actually is not what we're doing. If you guys could each roll 2d10 exclamation mark plus 2.
Wait, sorry, what was that?
2d10 exclamation mark plus 2.
Oh, so they explode.
They
Okay.
explode, yeah.
+2.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 12 for Adelaza. And
Okay.
2d10 exclamation mark plus 2. What you were rolling is a peril. Oh, no! Okay. So, if you could go to your character sheets, please. Go to the combat tab, and you're going to take a look at your peril threshold. So, Adelaza, yours, I believe, is only past the first. Is that right? If you look, so what it has is...
Well, there's 6, 12, 18, 24.
6. Okay, so it does get to the 12. So would you kindly go down to the peril condition track and bring it down to ignore 1 skill rank, because you've suffered 2 levels of peril.
Okay.
What this is the stumbling. This is the effect of traveling for this long without sleep. Farracus, How does that 26 compare to yours?
Peril threshold is let's see, 7, 13, 19, 25. So it's it's off the charts, Kevin. Literally off the charts.
We open with Farrakis stumbling in
So
this mud-soaked road. If you could put down to incapacitated, please.
Okay.
And you fall down. Now, I will remind you, you can spend a fortune point to automatically reduce your peril level by 1.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm doing that.
Okay. So I will adjust the... Here we go.
I'm going to choose not to start the game incapacitated.
Really grimdark, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
the way peril works is it penalizes you in the way of you ignore certain skill ranks. So if you have skill training in it, that's it. It's not quite as... It's definitely bad, but it's not as critically penalizing as what, like the death spiral you get in some other games. So, Sean, why don't you tell us, what is it that we see? It's probably about midday. Farrakis kind of stumbles along. What do we see that draws Adelaide's attention?
And I assume we're focusing on my peril.
So peril is not physical damage. Peril is like your tension, anything that would scare you or would wear you down or might magically affect you. That isn't just physical damage. That doesn't result in physical injuries. That's all captured by peril. So he's just worn down, I think.
Yeah, he's probably pissed at being poor. I mean, we're wet, bedraggled. It's like, this again. Like, can we ever crawl out of this? How come we've either got like a damsel on both knees, or else we're sleeping in a ditch. Why is this?
So I think maybe how about this is that you're going down a decline on this mud-soaked road, and you suddenly just you lose your footing, and you don't even have the strength to catch yourself. So you hit and slide down, and you're sort of like, oh, fuck. And Adelaide, you're a little tired from this, but Farrakis seems to be just completely tanked here.
I've had it. It's just
yeah. I mean, I'm starting to feel that way too, so I don't know if I'm in much of a position to cheer him up or make him feel better.
Well, then let me pull you down in the ditch.
Yeah,
horrible.
I just wish we had a bottle of something to sip on in our, we're too poor to even have something to drown our sorrows in.
And that's too poor right there. That is too poor right there, is when you don't have anything to drink to even get drunk on.
Yeah,
Well, and it has been you had to go around the last village because there was, the last 2 villages you passed because there have been armies billeted there and you're not sure what side they're on.
Right.
So you're still, you've managed to cast off whatever sort of stuff that had any markings for the army that you were serving that would suggest any allegiance. But Farrakis, you're getting up, stumbling to your knees. It's still several days until you get to Norham, and hopefully, as you travel along and pass some more things, the better that you'll at least find some places that are better to sleep. But right now, 2 days out, I'm not sure you're going to be able to handle another day's travel. You're going to need to bed down for an evening somewhere. But there is one small thing that I think that you were thankful for. Now, Farrakis, if I might suggest, why don't you spend a fortune point and take advantage of Erd's voice? That is one of the flashback scenes to tell us how you pocketed some of the pay. From the last thing you hit before you ran was the quartermaster's thing. Once you make that, spend a point, and then we'll make a skullduggery check and see how much you got away with. What do you think?
Sounds good.
Okay. So you can picture, as you're getting back in the film version of our campaign, this is where you would see the flashback of you guys fleeing that oncoming army, and Farrakis, while you're Adelaide, you're trying to keep an eye out for him. You maybe deflect and then deflect the blade of an attacking enemy soldier running rampant through the camp. Farrakis is like, no, over here. And Farrakis, why don't you give us a skullduggery check, please? And you can add plus 10 to that, because I think it's going to force you to ignore. That'll offset the penalty you've got from your peril. Because it's a flashback. And, you weren't exhausted back then.
I was going to ask you too. What do those asterisks mean on the skills?
I honestly don't know. I thought they were the distinction between simple skills, but it's a Zweihander sheet, not a Blackbird sheet. So normally there's a difference between common skills, which anyone can use, and special skills. Let's see here. Look at that. Very nice. So, nice. 46, and your skullduggery is a 6. What is so that's a 46? That's a 4. What is your agility bonus?
What did you just do right there? You went
the 4, because I was deciding what the result is here. Well,
okay.
Technically it's 2, so it'll be 6, because 6 is what your score is. I subtract 4 from that, gives me a 2. That tells me you got
just degrees of success.
Yeah, exactly. And then what is your agility bonus?
7.
7, holy shit. So that's 9. So actually, you made off with 3. So in addition to having like the patronage thing, there is sort of an abstract way of measuring spoils. 3 is a pouch of valuable silver coins, a more valuable gem, or a cheap piece of jewelry. So what do you think you made off with?
And it should be in what you just said. Should be in that category.
Yes.
I mean, could be that the quartermaster was, was focused on equipment, and I was focused on the quartermaster's pouch.
Okay, so yeah, you grab that, and then as you're making your way out, the enemy came into the quartermaster's tent, and that's where you guys ran off.
Yeah.
So you've got 3. You can mark it's different in Zweihander, but you can mark 3 spoils somewhere on your character sheet, because that's what you can trade in or barter in for different services.
Okay.
Okay, so at the very least you've got that. Now, you are probably not going to want to travel on. You can go further, but what you will have to make is a toughness check if you want to carry on traveling. Alternatively, what you can do is try and find a place to bed down for the evening. It is raining.
I say we try and find somewhere.
Okay.
This rain is horrible.
Be nice to find a barn.
Yeah. You are in the middle of the forest, but what are either of you guys trained in survival? I don't believe so, but it is a common skill regardless. So,
I only have 3 skills, I believe, if this is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Okay, so then you can let's see. Your survival, I believe, is actually I can't remember. Survival is perception. Who's got a better perception? Yeah. Stat, not bonus.
46.
54.
Okay. So what you can do then is, assuming you guys will be working together to try and find this, is I can reduce the difficulty of this by 1. So the staging of difficulty is very much like it is in other, like the other games where there's a flat bonus. So like routine is plus 10, easy is plus 20. For this, building a shelter out of limbs and grass is routine plus 10. With 2 of you working on it, it'll be plus 20. So, Adelaide, why don't you give us a survival check at plus 20. At easy, plus 20. And when you click on that, it'll prompt you a difficulty.
Oh, I see. Standard.
Yep.
Yeah, easy. Okay. Submit. And then no other modifier.
No other modifiers, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, come on.
So, do you want to spend
that's
a fortune point
right now? That's our luck.
Yeah.
That's our...
You can. That was not a critical or a sublime failure. So, do you want to spend a fortune point re-roll that?
100%.
Go right ahead.
That was terrible. We need somewhere to warm up. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So same thing, plus 20.
Yeah.
There we go.
Going through the... Oh,
There
the
you go.
opposite.
Beautiful. So with some effort, you guys are able to put together a nice little kind of a lean-to. You're at least going to be dry. You at least got a place where you're going to be out, and you're certainly able to collect enough firewood and get yourself, get things burning. You will not, however, have an opportunity to, let's see here. So there's also a really interesting thing about rekindling. So rekindling depends a lot on what type of situation you're able to sleep in. If you are in, for example, for peril, if you're in a safe and warm environment, like a place that's got guards or an inn or whatnot, as soon as you do a rekindling, you get rid of all of your peril.
Oh.
If you're sleeping in a filthy oubliette, a wet storm drain, a back alley, or anywhere else where there is a risk to your safety, you reduce it by 1. However, there's one other neat thing you can do as part of your rekindling. One of them is revelry, and the other is reflection. Reflection, neither of you guys are going to be particularly good at. But revelry, what revelry is you sitting around and you actively try and lift the spirits of those suffering from trauma. You may attempt to ameliorate their distress. You have numerous ways to do it: singing rousing songs around a campfire, carousing at the local tavern, coaxing a person to open up about their trauma, recounting the tales of ancient heroes, or whatever. The skill you use to do that is you make a charm test. Now, neither of you guys are particularly good at charm, but Farrakis, you have a talent that allows you to substitute skullduggery for charm for any test. On a success with this, you automatically reduce peril by 1. This stacks with sleeping. On a critical success, it reduces it by 2, including yourself. So, Farrakis, I'm assuming you're not trying to be charming while doing this, but if you wanted to say, make your, Arya Stark and her list of enemies that she's going to get to, perhaps something along those lines.
To cheer us up?
Yeah, would you like to do that?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So it will be a skullduggery check, and you can go ahead and roll whenever you wish.
Oh,
It's the list of all the people we feel owe us money, Kevin.
yeah. There we go.
There you go. I see the green. Not a critical success.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. So what is it that Farrakis says? What are you guys talking about around this fire? And you can feel free to add in. This is where you can indulge your creativity if you'd like, Sean.
So it's probably going to be akin to like RPG plans. You know how one is constantly has plans for, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play some huge campaign of Warhammer Fantasy, or, whatever. Like, the chances of that happening, who knows? But you go, this month, this kind of thing. So I'm saying this to Adelaisa. You know what we're going to do? It's the free man's option. You could always do this. You could always make these grand plans. And, Adelaisa indulges me, perhaps, and we're like, yeah, we're going to, let's see. He says,
well, you know a guy in Norham, and like once you get there, fucking things are going to turn around.
I know a guy. Like, things are going to change. Like, I'm sick of this. Like, we're going to get on top of this, and next thing you know, things are going to turn around. We're going to kill a few people we don't like. We're going to take some money from some people that have too much, and then we're going to go drink ourselves silly, and it's going to be beautiful. Something to this effect.
Yeah. I know we're the exact 2 people that he's looking for.
Yep.
So that does. You guys can each reduce your peril condition by 1. It is quite heartening. Now, to find just something to subsist on, would you like to just spend a little bit of time collecting some goods, or trying to collect some berries and whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay. So
we got time. That's what we got is time.
Yeah.
So collect some berries.
Who would like this? It's the same thing as a survival once again. Adelaide, do you want to take the lead on that once again?
Sure.
Okay, so and that will actually be whatever the next, I think, routine. No, whatever the next step is up from easy. Because plus 30 is what you're getting on this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Trivial, it says.
Trivial, yeah.
Okay, yeah, right. Just to find something to eat. Oh my god!
Oh no!
Oh my god! Roll20 just loves to show everybody.
And it's a critical
how-
fail too.
Boysenberries.
It's exactly what it is.
Oh my
Boysenberries.
god! Well, it was fun trying the game out, Sean.
It may not shock you, Oren, that there's a whole host of poison rules in this game.
Great.
Let's see here. I think
God.
it's just, let's see here. Let's do this. Why don't you guys roll 1d10 exclamation mark plus 1. That's how much peril. So if it doesn't get over your peril threshold, you're fine.
Each of us?
Each of you, yeah. This is what your... Seems that Adelaide has... again, this is a place that has been at war for 12 years, so perhaps it's been fairly picked over.
Oh, come on!
Ugh. Okay, so your peril condition goes down by 1 once again, Adelaide. Farracus, you're like, it's not so bad.
Yeah, what's your problem with these things?
You know, they're a little sour, but, you know.
They definitely do not agree with your belly. Now...
Adelaide's is like running to the bush.
Yeah.
So then...
Your lips are not on fire. They are not on fire.
Yeah.
So that is what you do. You can do that anytime you rekindle. I think it's a cool little way of like giving you some role-playing opportunity, but also giving you some mechanical benefit. So you can beat up the PCs, but they get lots of opportunities to get themselves kind of back to baseline with that. There is also a difference between your damage condition and your injuries. If you don't have an injury, you're more prone to suffering something more serious, but you're not actually suffering from anything serious. Let's introduce you guys to what are they called? Is it called Chaos Dice in this? Let's see. Because there's another thing. Damage Dice. They're called Damage Dice. Okay. What I'd like you guys to each do is to give us, this is moderately dangerous area, so why don't we have each of you roll a d6, please? You do not want to roll a 6. 6 is danger. No danger from Farracus. No danger from Adelaide. So guys, I have good news. While the food may not have been particularly good, the sleep is, and you each can reduce your peril threshold, or your peril, by 1 level.
Nice.
Yeah. So, you guys get up in the morning. Oh, there's still quite a bit to do. And Farracus. Now, one of the things that, maybe I'll put a token or a dot on your... actually, I can go up to 30, so I think I'll put a... What bar would you like for your tithe? Tithe is the thing that goes up. Would it be green or blue or red? This is the whispers
voice
of the outsider. What do you think? Blue, green, or red?
And this is purely up to me?
Purely up
it's
to you.
just
Yeah.
for flavor, whatever color invokes the whispering voice in your mind.
I mean, I think things are a little sour right now, so I'm going to go red.
Red? You got it. Okay, so 30 is when you die. 10 is when you start suffering skill penalties. So you wake up in the morning and you can hear once again. And what do you think the voice sounds like when it whispers to you? It often gets you to do strange things, like it's had you one time steal a piece of paper from a book and eat it. At another time, it has been to like break someone's glasses. At another time, it was to damage some kind of mechanical apparatus that was allowed to view the stars.
And those were all red associated? Were they specific?
They're always the same. It's always the same voice. That never changes because remember, the Nephilims curse comes from a pact that some ancestor of yours made 1,000 years ago or more. With an outsider, and that outsider, now that the gods have fallen and the extinguishing has occurred, now they're calling in the contract.
Let's see. I think it is probably a like the voice of kind of a haughty. It's got a little bit of the haughty jester.
Okay. Okay.
Judgmental. Always like, oh, seriously? A little bit of that.
Sleeping in here again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were done with this.
It's close, Ferricus. Not long now. And you hear that, and that's sort of what wakes you up. Like, what's not long? That never... Well, sometimes it's good, but not always. So, I imagine that Adelaisa had the first watch. So, Adelaisa, you're the one who finally gets up. Ferricus, do you guys want to scrounge for food again today?
Yes.
I prefer to have a bow so we could do some hunting.
Okay. So why don't you
more
go...
berries?
Yeah, more berries. So once again, at you get plus 30, whatever routine.
Yeah.
And this will be enough for the day. So as long as you get enough food, you'll be good to go for the day.
All right, here we go. No 99s.
Critical success.
There you go.
So you know what? You find something hardy enough to actually reduce your peril by 1 more.
Nice.
There's just something incredibly tasty that you're able to make out of this. Perhaps it is like you're able to, with maybe Ferricus's throwing deck, you're able to like catch a rabbit or something like that. So you finally get some proper food. 2 days without food, 2 days of straight march, 2 days with no sleep. Finally, some food in your belly.
Now, I assume that Adelaisa is familiar with the whispers, probably, right? What do you think?
You guys are friends. Like, you guys are, you're because of this common dream that you both started having, that shared, for whatever reason, you guys have fallen in together. Fate, it seems, has something in store for the two of you. So
and if we have this shared fate that we've discussed, you may have brought it up, not, does he know it's from his ancestry, or would he know?
What I know is that...
Or would he not know that?
Some of those weird things that Ferricus has done, like, I imagine that... What I was thinking before is that she probably does know about it, because there's times where Ferricus will just have, like, he'll say, like, there's a book in the backpack of that man, I need to steal it. And you'll be like, what? And like the level of agitation that he feels, once that's done, it goes down once again. And maybe you don't know the full particulars of it, but you know that at times he just will make bizarre requests, seemingly completely out of the blue, that he needs to get done.
And I think I'll figure out more as we go. But I think like he might say something like, you know what? And Adelaide's is like, huh? What? I said, I got a feeling. And it's one of those where you're like, oh, really? Like a feeling of what? Right?
Yeah.
This again?
Yeah.
I've got a feeling, Adelaide. This maybe something akin to that. So I probably wake up saying, I kind of had a dream, Adelaide.
Oh, shit. Well, I hope it takes us somewhere good this time.
Something's coming to us. Or we're close to something.
I hope so.
Very close. Very close.
I feel like we're on the cusp. I'm gonna try to tell this positively, Adelaide, for your sake. I think we're on the cusp of something.
Your visions have not been positive yet.
No. Doesn't seem so, does it?
What I'm going to do as well, just because I want to show off another mechanic, once you guys finish up, there's very little camp to tie up right now, so you're able to pick up. Let's see, why don't, Jeff, why don't you give us...
We're not going to be weary from equipment.
No. Why don't you give us a D6 roll, please? Once again, let's see if it is still raining or if the raining has stopped finally. Raining has stopped.
Oh, thank goodness.
Go. Okay.
At least we've woken to that.
All right.
Yeah.
So the road, however, is still as muddy and dirty as it is before, and you find like there's a couple of points where you have to like get off of the road, take a stick and like get all the clods of mud that have collected on your boots off of you. Because of your great roll, why don't each of you give us a toughness check, but you can flip it to success, and we'll make your roll, and then it will tell you how that goes. I think this is at +10. You can take it as a routine test as well.
Toughness.
Toughness is under brawn, I believe.
Yeah. And it's routine.
Routine +10, yeah. Nice.
Aha.
Oh, come on.
No, but here's what it is. Because
I can flip it to success.
Flip to success. That's a 46. That's a success.
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, I mean it's a it's a rough going for the day, and there's once or twice where you are at the bottom of one hill, and Farrakis, you'll hear it's just around the bend, and you get up there and it's not there. You hear and you carry on like this. You don't pass a soul. You guys have sort of gone off of the beaten path and are taking a circuitous route to get to the city. You're trying to avoid any of these major fairs. One of the frustrating things if you are trying to travel over long distances is it's difficult to keep track of like what was loyal to what as you were going. Mm-hmm. So when you guys get to it's about maybe 2 o'clock or so in the afternoon. Skies are still overcast. You maybe saw tendrils of smoke that were a mile or so off at one point, but you guys wisely went away from that. That black, acrid smoke is most often not a welcoming roadside inn. It is more often the remnants of an army making its way through. But after the final time, this is probably the 5th time, in the course of the day, Farrakis, where you've heard your voice. Does Farrakis have a name? Well, it has not given a name to you. Does he give a name to it? Like it may not be a given name, but even just like an appellation, like a what do you call it? Like a like the pain, or the master, or whatever.
I think, I think he gives it a somewhat derisive name for the obvious reasons. I think he calls it the Mumbler.
The Mumbler,
what is
okay.
The Mumbler.
So because of your success, you guys aren't going to be suffering any more peril from just the trip from today. About 2 o'clock, you come across a ridge. And what you can see is there's a clearing at the foot of a fairly long hill, and the hill itself has been cleared out of trees. And it seems like this was at one point a farm, which means it may not be far from some other smaller, smaller community. But the farm structure, it does not have any roof. This has been burned out fairly long ago. The fields are so overgrown that you'd have to look hard to see the posts in it. So this has got to have been abandoned for perhaps early in the in the Betrayer's War, if not, yeah. Would you each give us an awareness check, please? And I am going to spending misfortune here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good idea to review the fortune list periodically.
Okay, so Adelaisa and Farrakis. All right, so Farrakis, that's a CB3, that's a success by 3. What is your perception bonus?
My perception is 46.
No, perception bonus. The PB.
Bonus 6.
6. So that's a total of 9. The reason that's important is because if it's a contested thing, like let's say I was rolling for stealth, I'd be comparing the success of mine plus whatever the stat bonus is versus yours. That's how contested stuff works. So, Farrakis, you're giving a real close look over it, and you can hear, there it is. Oh, look at that.
And what is it I'm seeing? What was it? Sorry, I'm sorry.
That is that cabin, or a farm.
Cabin.
There's a farmhouse. There is no roof on it any longer, but it does have walls on it still.
In a manner of speaking, Adelaide,
Yeah. Now,
this is what I dreamed of.
Farrakis, I am going to spend this for you. I'll spend another misfortune because I'm going to trigger your Nephilim ability.
Oh.
The court. What is it called again? Your ability?
Is this his boon? Or his bane?
Yeah, this is his, what do you call it? His Nephilim boon. Whispers of Stolen Lore.
Oh, gotcha.
There is something hidden on that farm. Someone has buried something.
There's something here, Adelaide.
And this is
Something
something
more than...
you most definitely have learned to trust him for it. It's always old shit, but like there's been times where you guys have suddenly, he's known where a wall has been sealed up and has concealed a room, or he's known that there has been a buried treasure at certain points.
I for one hope it's a case of something tasty.
Indeed, something more than rat guts.
So if there,
those horrible berries.
with your great awareness roll, Farrakis, you can see that there is you can see where the road that led from this, or the trail that leads from this road up into the towards the farmhouse. So you can follow up there without any difficulty. You're going through some fairly overgrown grass and such, but
We should start with the structure.
Good place as any. Plus,
See if our fate lies there.
so as you get closer, Farrakis, it's not by that. The main structure, that may serve as a much more comfortable place. Everything stone that's in that structure still stands. So there is still a fireplace, there's a hearth that's in there. There are still walls. The roof that was thatch and whatnot has been completely burned out. But if you guys wish to sleep, if it's not raining and you wish to sleep at least on a solid floor, it will likely be in there. But it's not there. It's actually something a little further back in the field. Perhaps what was a barn at some point.
I know what you're thinking, Adelaide. Looks like a palace, but our fate does not lie there. Keep your eyes on it, though. We'll be returning there shortly for a good snooze. But in the meantime, follow me. And I go traipsing off into the... What time is it, Kevin?
It is about 2 o'clock.
So, afternoon. So still daylight.
Yeah, still daylight.
So I go traipsing off into the fields.
Okay.
I honestly, I think at this point I'm a little bit nervous. I don't have my sword out or anything, but I've definitely moved my hand onto the hilt because, Farrakis has led us into some trouble before.
Sure. Adelaide, why don't you give us another awareness check? Let's see if there's anything. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So you're maybe just distracted by everything. There's a whooshing of trees. There's a cry of a bird somewhere in the forest. You think you can hear wolves off in the hills? That isn't good. But Farrakis, you are led unerringly to what appears to be, if you look over, you can hit, there's a stump still set in the ground, burned down now, but there was a barn here, or some other kind of structure. Very overgrown and whatnot, but when you get to the middle of it, you can sense there is something buried in what would have been the middle of this structure.
I'm pacing around the ground there, and still looking at the ground. I say,
Take
get out your
it.
Get out your shovel, Adelaide. Knowing you don't have one.
Yeah. I would look around for anything that could be used as a tool. I really don't want to drag my blade through there, so.
No, which actually might give us an opportunity to do. There is a really cool but easy to manage like gear deterioration system in the game too. Wasn't in any of the other Spyhunter games, so I really love it.
Okay, Kev, just for it's a skill thing that you do with the fate, right, or the fortune. I just wanted to like revisit the rule of like the one of the past.
There could be a burned up like a spade in here. Sure, yeah, that's the present.
Or like there could be something, or there could be something that like Adelaisa has tucked into her belt, like I don't know, an old remnants of a shovel head or something. Like maybe we've dug for crap before, and she's like when he says "get out your shovel," it is like a piece of metal that she carries around. Yeah. That's like a rusty old hunk of metal.
Because I mean, maybe you had to dig a latrine or something before. Sure,
exactly.
So yeah, you get that, and you can put that on your trappings. I'm fine with that.
Cool.
Broken spade.
Yeah, it's like a little broken spade.
Okay, so then what we'll also do
I like it.
is because this thing is broken, where is it here? We are going to check. I think that's under the rules.
We're like imagining it's just the head of the shovel.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's a thing called the wheel. I
think that works.
So right now it is a worn one. On the second usage, it will become frail. On the third usage, it becomes ruined. And then on the fourth, it becomes destroyed, unless you repair it. So this goes from you can put down it becomes a frail shovel.
Okay.
Well, actually, hold on. No, that's only on a critical fail. So why don't we do this? Why don't you give us
I'll call it a
athletics check.
Okay.
Let's see how effective. I don't want it to break just for one use. So only really, this is how critical fails sort of work with gear. If you're attacked and you're hit by a critical hit, it causes degradation in your armor. And if you suffer a critical fail with a weapon, it causes degradation on your weapon.
And you want athletics, right?
Yes, please. And you can take it as routine. This is plus 10.
Oh, whoops.
You're just digging a hole, so it's really not, Oh, are you kidding me?
1 point!
Wow.
So I think what we'll say is, so here's your choice. You want to spend a fortune to re-roll that, or do you want to just take it the degradation by 1?
Let's say it breaks. Like I like the idea that this thing is just a real rusted out.
Okay, so it goes down to frail. So you're worn to frail. You can, during a rekindling, try and improve the conditions again.
Nice.
Okay.
I like now that it's a frail spade
So
head.
what you are able to do, and what you find underneath there is a wooden, very old and water-damaged wooden box, a chest. It's not very large. It only is about maybe 6 inches by about 9, and it's only about 5 inches deep. It was probably at one point wrapped in an oil-soaked rag, but that's deteriorated over time. What's in here is a little chest of coins. This will be worth 4 spoils.
Oh. I tap my dagger on the wood and I say, it torments me, but it doesn't lie. Not exactly, anyway.
Never.
Coins are wonderful for the future, but I was hoping for something more practical.
So 4 plus 3, we have 7 spoils.
Nope, keep them separately. You got one thing that has 4 spoils, one thing that has 3 spoils. Yeah, they're exponential in growth, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, so if you have access to a patron, you get to just cash your shit in like crazy. Like you see the patronage. The reason you guys are fairly limited in your gear is because of the patronage level. A dagger, which is a pretty awesome weapon, is a patronage 4, which is why you carry 2 shivs, Farracus. And similar to Adelaide, so the reason you've only got a Gambeson and your shiv and your longsword is because you don't have a lot of money either.
Right.
Okay. So then, once all this is done, it's probably closer to 3 o'clock. Do you guys want to carry on the road, or do you want to make camp here?
Let's go check out the house.
Yeah, we have to at least have a look.
A search of the house reveals that it looks as if with this place, I don't think it would have. Oh, it probably has a cellar. No, it wouldn't. This is no. So there's no cellar. What you find is that the place has clearly burned down, and you find the remnants of other travelers who have left stuff. There's still some, leftover burnt firewood in the hearth, but otherwise no sign of any recent travelers. What you can also do at any point, Farracus, if, for instance, you wanted to check for any unnatural things, you can use your odd sight to view into the odd.
Now, for that, I would have to spend a fortune, right? Because it's not slotted.
No, because remember, that's a trait. You always have that. You're a Nephilim. That's one of the upsides to your pact, is you get that strange ability to find hidden stuff, and you can see into the odd.
Okay, so traits are not slotted. They are always on.
Traits are always on. Talents and techniques are the only two that you have to worry about. Anything that is not a talent or a technique is always active.
Very good. Yeah, definitely a question. I will give things a look and see.
Why don't you give us an awareness check, please?
No.
So nothing, as far as you can tell, nothing unnatural here. You could spend a fortune point reroll if you'd like, but there's no strong resonances. You see very dull colors in here. This is a dry, place.
I suppose I'll give it a reroll.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Curses.
Oh, curses. Oh, and it's like almost the same.
Yeah.
Roll 20 never disappoints. What you, like I said, there's nothing untoward for this. And this may be a dry, it's not going to be safe because there's no door to seal or whatnot, but at the very least, this would be a nice place to rest for the evening. What do you guys think?
Yes. I think we've earned it, Adelaide. Shall we bed down in this palace for the night?
Yes. And maybe it gives us enough time to snare a rabbit or something.
Okay. Adeliza, why don't you give us once again a survival check, and at plus, what do we say, plus 30? Yeah, the routine, or whatever it was.
Was it just easy?
See, if I have a DM screen, I'd be able to, or my Fate Weaver screen. Trivial, wasn't it?
Trivial, yeah. Trivial is called. Yeah. There we go. Come on.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. So you guys have your food, your feed for the evening. Farracus, you could once again spend your evening ranting over the fire if you'd like. Do you want to indulge in revelry? The thing is, it isn't a risk. It is a risk reward because if you fail, it can. Here, the fail causes. Maybe fail doesn't do anything. Fail does nothing. Critical fail moves you down by 1.
Oh.
Sublime fail moves down by 2. So, what are you thinking? Where are you guys as far as your peril track?
Yeah, I don't know where you're at. I am totally unhindered right now.
I am imperiled, which is one
step
down,
which you'll heal from sleeping. Oh.
And do you know what that does, Kevin? Do you know
Impale
what
does
the
nothing.
mechanical-
It's just the first step down.
Oh, you're just okay. You're just nervous.
Yeah. Sure. Well, especially since I mean,
with a
we're
nice
now-
George tells you to rant in the chat, so maybe you should roll, even though we don't need you to.
Yeah, good call, George. I'm going to. I hear that voice, and it sounds like George. It's weird now. It's, it's breaking the fourth wall, and especially now that we're housed and eating like kings, comparatively, we just made a fortune in the field. I mean, it's all coming around. This is what I'm going to be going on about that. I'm like, it's here, it's now. Like things have turned. I can feel it. Yes.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking
So
about.
why don't you give us a skullduggery check, please?
I love it.
See if we can get rid of it before you hit the sack.
Yes.
One of the things I can do as well, I mean, you guys can do this as well. I can, that prompting for the second roll? I can turn that off.
Yeah, for the other bonus?
Yeah, because, I mean, I think we're just incorporating it into...
Yeah, okay, that's good. Oh!
What do we got? Sublime?
No,
Critical?
But... it looks really good because you win by 57, but it's not a double, so it's it's just a simple success, I think.
Oh, I see. It's when you roll doubles that it's the critical.
Yeah,
doubles are critical or fail. Yep, a 1 or a 100 is sublime. Really good, really bad. All right, so Fergus, what is it you're ranting about today? Like now that you've,
I mean, I think I'm. Look at this place. We should. I mean, we should almost stay here. There's a fortune out there in that field. We're housed and roofed. And this, whatever this is,
what am I going to dig a new garden with this? And holds out her friend.
Yes, you were amazing with that thing. It was, we'll plant vegetables. Some ridiculous nonsense now.
Yeah.
Going on.
All right. So then, guys, after you hit the sack, allow me to move something down here to make room.
So I move my track up, right?
Yes. Oh no, that's only by morning. Something's happening tonight.
So that roll only takes place after you've slept.
After you slept, you get to move it. No, the roll happens. Oh, sorry. Yes, you're absolutely right, Sean. No. When you do revelry, then you automatically get that benefit. Then you also would reduce it by 1 if you slept.
Gotcha. There we go.
And if you're an inn or something like that, you would be able to reduce it by even more.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So there's, I really like that. There's lots of opportunities to get yourself, like, I can beat the shit out of you, but you got a chance to get back as well. So it is, let's see here. Why don't you each just give us a, give us just a D10 roll. Whoever rolls lowest will be up. And then I need to roll something here.
We rolled doubles. I think that's a critical success. We're both up.
Yeah, maybe you're both up. I think maybe it's at changeover. So that works. Yeah, it's when one is changing over. I will tell you.
Yeah.
So would you
kind of fits the mechanics?
Yeah. Would you each kindly give us an awareness check, please? No, just at regular or standard. And I changed it on your character sheets. You should only prompt you for the difficulty level right now.
Oh yeah, that's much faster.
Okay.
So
Fergus
I'm
once again.
I'm just feeling it. It's just, it's like a burning, Adelaide.
Fergus, I think Adelaide, you are maybe you've been keeping watch for the first little bit. You guys are inside this small cabin, and again, like this place it's wood built or stone built, open to the sky. It's a relatively pleasant, cool spring evening, but with a fire burning, you're able to keep yourself warm enough. You're getting down near, and Fergus, I can tell you. So, what is your perception bonus?
It's like 6.
6. So that means that is a 12, is what you rolled for success. In comparison, I rolled a 6, so you beat my stealth roll by 6.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Some
one of the things
fool
I
has-
like quite a bit is that it makes the characters where the things that you're quite good at, it's not just your roll, it's your roll plus the bonus. And your bonus gets better over time as you add more advances towards it, right?
Yeah.
So you are getting down, and Farrakis, you hear something moving, something growling outside. By beating it by 12, I will tell you there are 3 wolves slowly stalking around this, trying to find a way in.
And I think maybe we say I had the first one this time, and I was waking you up, right? The
Yeah,
7th,
and she's just you wake her up, and she's a little groggy, and like, what?
Yeah.
And that's when you hear kind of a, like what
So
they may be
Adelaide,
communicating to each other, like there's another one up.
Yeah.
I go, Adelaide, I have bad news and I have good news. Which would you like first?
The bad, I guess.
The bad news is we have visitors. The good news is they're far more loud than they think.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take our mid-session break, and then we'll come back, and we've already rolled initiative because we set our initiative track. Farrakis, you're going to be up first.
Could we make it a little bit longer than usual? A little bit longer?
Yeah, what do you want, 10 minutes?
10 minutes, perfect.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll be back sooner, and then I will, Awesome. We'll see, but we'll be back momentarily, or shortly.
Sweet.
Okay, George, what's going on? Hope the flight was okay. Oh boy, we got lots of folks in chat today. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone is having a great start to the weekend. Oh boy, I'm in love with this game. Oh great, yeah. I agree. I'm really, I really enjoyed what I've read of the game thus far, and I'm looking forward to seeing how combat scrapping feels in it. The game seems to be designed to be a little more, a lot more combat intensive and combat friendly than what Zweihander is. In particular, the techniques, I think, gives you a lot more options. And one of the neat things about the game is there are techniques that are bound to different paths, and then there are a whole separate set of techniques that are related to the weapons. So as long as you have a certain level of weapon skill, you can select special techniques in like long swords or daggers or whatever else, and there are a series of maneuvers, including an extinguish maneuver, that you're able to do with that weapon. So it's pretty cool. It gives lots of flavor to the different weapons in a way of, without just giving them a flat bonus or that everyone gets, or making it very hyper specialized. It's cool having a specific set of neat abilities you can do with that type of weapon if you're trained with it. It's kind of like getting the most out of your tools. I really like it. Okay. So I need to look up the combat maneuvers here, because we're going to have ourselves a bit of a scrap here. Like a lot of games, this also has distinguishes, in addition to the techniques that you can have, each weapon has its own traits that add a little bit of quality. I can tell you that we ended up using the illustration I did for Adelaisa because it's the only one I could find that really had kind of like a knife in one hand and a sword in the other, which the character I saw using. The shiv that she's using has the offhand quality, which allows, if you've got it in the offhand, it just adds +1 to damage to whatever you're doing. It's got some other things. I think it's fast, and it's got finesse as well. So it's fast, so it's harder to parry, and it's finesse, so you use your agility bonus to determine the damage. I was just saying, Jeff, some of the things I like about how they make weapons feel unique in this.
Okay, cool.
The techniques are one of the things, like your character, the first ability you have, that Swordsmaster technique, that's something that's from your path. But the longsword technique, anybody can take weapon techniques as long as they've got training in melee weapons or ranged weapons.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And in addition to that, each of your weapons, you'll see your longsword has two. I've got it marked in my book here. Has 3 qualities, I believe. Adaptable, which means if you use it in 2 hands, it gives +1 damage. Biting, which is if you get a critical or a sublime success, it causes a bleeding wound. And bleeding wounds are no joke in this. Like, you can fucking bleed out and die if you don't give yourself immediate attention.
Makes sense.
And then they are defensive, which means +10 to parry checks with it. So on a critical success, you cause bleeding injuries. It's easier to parry with your longsword, and if you put it in 2 hands, it gives +1 damage. Your shiv has the offhand quality, which means if you have that in one hand and your longsword in the other, it gives +1 damage.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Which I guess is the same as using my longsword in 2 hands.
Exactly. It gives you the same type of a thing, but you've got 2 different weapons. One of the advantages with the shiv is it has an ability called fast, which means it's -10 to parry it.
Oh.
Yeah, doesn't do as much damage because your agility bonus is not quite as good as your combat bonus. Your combat bonus is what damage your longsword does as a base. But then also remember, you got those 2 things. If you are engaged with only one foe, you get +10 to hit, or +10 to your skill. And if you're outnumbered, you get +1 dice of damage.
Right.
Remember as well, you can spend a fortune point if you hit to automatically have add 6 to the result of a damage roll.
Right. It's as if the first dice exploded.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and that's one time between rest. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to review. Oh, right. If I spend one of my action points on my Swordmaster technique, then I can parry or dodge. No, parry or dodge.
Yep.
For 0.
Was that enough time, Sean? Oh, Sean, can you hear us? Let's see here. Maybe you can't hear us right now. Let's see. Whoop.
He muted us.
Oh. I would do the same.
That's my guess. Oh, we're waiting for him to connect.
Oh, you were checking your...
Yeah, because I just wanted to look at just review my... Sorry, they're called techniques, right?
Yes.
The other ones?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And remember, when you extinguish, when you rekindle, which is what you're doing right now, your rekindling is interrupted, but once you get your sleep, it will be refreshed.
Right. So technically, if we got an opportunity to use our extinguish abilities, it would make sense.
Yeah. What it does mean, though, is that you lose access to those other effects that it has.
Right. For the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
Or the rest of the night, I guess, technically, if another pack of wolves came up or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So, you know what I'll do is I'll put just a dot with a 3 in it to tell you how many wolves there are. And I'll keep track of the damage otherwise. Let's see here.
So in this game, does each combat action... Oh, no. Okay, never mind.
What were you asking?
Oh, I was just going to ask, are they all one or are they varied? But I can see they vary.
Mm-hmm. So, like, you get... there is one called a targeted attack. That takes 2 actions, but what it does is if it hits, it does 1d6 extra damage, and it does depending on what you're targeting, the arm, the whatever else, it has a specific effect. So it can, like cause people to not be able to use an arm or stuff like that. And it's all d6s, all damage dice explode in this as well.
Right. And normally, so like, let's just say I'm standing there, and melee attack is 1 AP.
It's 1 action point.
So I could take 3 attacks. And so normally there's a penalty for each continuous attack, or what? Because my second ability is the Mistilav's Open, which costs me 0 action points. The effect is I spring into action, launching an all-out offense. They cannot use reactions until their next turn, but they lose any penalties for making attacks beyond the first when wielding a sword.
Okay.
So I'm assuming there must be normally a penalty for that.
Yeah, let's see here.
Me. I just want to understand that so I can decide if I would want to do
refresh
that or
my
not.
memory how, because I think we got which weapon.
Well, I think Sean's just having something quick to eat, and that's why he didn't want to.
Oh, okay, jump back in. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see.
Oh yeah, he did say he just got home right before we went
it
on.
was just before he jumped in. Let's see. Multiple attacks. Here we go. Okay. So I looked at it before. I don't see that. Should one set outnumber the other? Let me double check here. Attack complications.
Yeah, it seems strange, right?
It was right in the fucking thing. How about you read Madison? Rekindling kill conflicts. Every melee attack after the first on your turn is made at a -10 for the second, -20 for the third, and so on. The other thing is the penalty you, like whatever you have, either a bonus or a penalty, is inverted for defenses. So if your second, like let's say you miss in your first attack, you attack a second time, it's at -10. That would then you'd make your attack. If you're successful and they were able to defend, they would get +10 to their defense.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So by canceling that with my ability, that's good because it's removing that 10% shift each attack.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Okay.
So as I would say too, there's a ton of talents to choose from, techniques and talents to choose from. Like it's in addition to your lone wolf thing, that's one of like 12 different human boons you can choose from.
Right. I feel like this is one of those games that has some advantages to the in-person play. I like the idea of like physical cards and flipping them over and that kind of stuff. Like,
the only thing is, unless you backed it at present, unless you backed it on Kickstarter, you can't get physical cards. You can.
I see. They don't exist. Yeah.
Like they'll come out like for Zweihander, they've got print-on-demand cards now, so like you can get spell cards that are like that.
Yeah.
So you like, and when they come out, you'll be able to get them for sure. They're just not available right now, and it's I think the sheets do a good job though of having everything on there.
I get that. It's just like if you got farther into the game, like let's say it would be a little easier to manage. Like, here's your 4 techniques to choose from. Which 2 are you using? Yeah, that's where you have your deck. Yeah, because actually you build a deck of it. Right.
It's also the coins would be really cool to have in play as well. Like it is, I'm kicking myself so much for not backing it because they call it the something of the gods edition, and it's got cards and coins and a DM screen or a Fate Weaver screen, and I'm so angry at myself for not having got it because that's a cool game.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so then let's see here. Was waiting for Sean to finish up, and then we'll jump in. Okay, let's see here.
So there's really in a lot of ways, no reason not to use your techniques often. Like they kind of define your character a little bit.
Most definitely, and that's also why, remember, you can spend a fortune point and swap them out. So if you find that like, actually my longsword abilities would be more useful now, you could spend a fortune point and just swap out one for the other.
Oh, right. If the fight that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you had a whole deck of them, like as you'd said, like if you've been playing this for a few years and you really knew your character well, and you're like, oh, this technique is perfect for the scenario we see ourselves in. And the thing I'm going to spend a fate point and change cards.
It reminds me of Iron Kingdoms, the Iron Kingdoms RPG in a way, in the sense that you start with a relative low complexity and you get to master sort of like, oh, I get this neat thing and I got this kind of thing, and you're making lots of fun decisions for your character. But it then grows into, over the course of play, slowly getting more options, and the decision you have to make as well, because you're spending on the same things, is where you're spending those reward points, the XP for the game. Do I increase my skills? Do I increase my bonuses for my stats? Or do I get new talents? Or do I get new techniques? Mm-hmm. So there's lots of fun things to choose from. And then as you level up, you gain access to new lists of things too. There's tier 2 techniques and tier 3 techniques for each of the paths, and you can mix and match as well. So if next tier, say you decided you liked the sneaky shit, you could take it up one tier in the path of subterfuge and shadow or crafting, if you're sick of your shit breaking down all the time. You know, so lots of really fun, like lots of different ways to go. There's one of all dedicated towards like charm and intrigue. So it is pretty cool. Oop.
Sean had to reconnect.
I think Sean, you back? Let's see.
He's definitely still muted on our Zoom call.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't read. Maybe.
Let's see. Let me take a look at the Zoom calls. No messages in. Yeah, he's still muted in that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oops. I moved the wrong thing.
If you're hearing me,
We can hear you.
I guess you guys are waiting on me, and I was waiting on you.
Yeah. That's right. I typed in Roll20. I'm like, can you hear us?
I don't know why. Because not only am I not hearing you, I'm not seeing you on the screen either. Hence my being totally blind to.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this here. I'm going to hit reconnect. There's only a handful of us tonight, so hopefully this will work things out. Now, if you want, maybe we just gonna leave the call and then come back in. Can you hear us now, Sean?
That's so funny. You know, it wouldn't be a Dungeon Musings show, though, if we didn't have technical difficulties.
Yeah, we have things. That's where we get to toast Mo.
Yeah, no kidding. Or Brent. Brent always used to have technical difficulties all the time.
Dude, let's see here.
Okay.
Hey, me and you have both had our fair share too, Kev.
I think I've only had one time where.
Not lately, though. Yeah,
no,
not lately.
Several years.
Yeah. Oh.
Just a second here.
Okay, I've lost Sean's picture. Let me hit reconnect once again here.
Maybe he's done something to the audio.
Okay, let me see if I need to let him back in.
Okay, I'm okay.
You can hear us now?
Got it?
Yes.
Excellent.
How long were you guys there? You weren't there too long, were you?
No, a little while. Well, we didn't. I don't have your video right now, Sean. If you could hit reconnect once again in Roll20.
My goodness, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, for a while I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I mean, Kevin's probably out with Anna, and who knows. And then eventually I'm like, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Okay, I don't know what's happened. Your camera's not working in Roll20 now, Sean.
Let's see.
I got your character portrait. There you go. Got you back. Got you. Everyone's back. All right.
Sorry about that.
These wolves scared you so much.
No worries. No problem. We were talking about the game anyway. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
It felt like a long time. I felt I was sitting here for. I mean, because if I could have either seen you or heard you, I would have known, but I couldn't do either. So I thought everything. Well, I guess everything's fine. I don't know.
No problem. So Farrakis, you are up first. You have 3 action points. What would you like to do? The wolves seem to be outside. It is likely going to take them. So the distance in this is a stride, and your movement, whatever your movement score is, that's how many strides you can move per turn. The actions for combat begin on page 163 of the core book, and
there's a little handout that you put.
Yeah, that has just the breakdown for the AP costs. So
I will pull my weapon.
So one of the reasons I gave you 2 shivs and a throwing dagger is because I believe all of them are offhand, And an offhand weapon grants +1 damage to melee.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I will. So probably 1 point to pull a shiv.
Okay.
Does that sound correct?
Yep. One action point to draw a weapon. 2 more.
And then, can I tell? Do I have any idea on? Let's see. So this structure has 1 door. I take it.
0 doors remaining. They've all burned.
Oh.
It's got openings.
Yep.
Right. Well, in that case, I will. I am going to pick out a. Is there a wall that's whole?
Yep. You're pretty much surrounded. Like the stone parts of it are gone. It's just the thatch roof and the door has burned away.
I will take a corner. I'm going to go in a corner that is. And how many windows, even if they're not intact?
In here, there is probably 2.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a window. I'll take a corner. I'll go into a corner, defensive corner.
Okay.
And I guess is that an AP or maybe 2?
Yeah, one is to. It's called. I can't remember if it's called stride in this, like it is in PF2. I thought that.
Yep.
Movement actions. Hustle is to move a distance equal to your movement.
Mm-hmm.
Run is 3 AP. You move 3 times your movement. But you gain +3 to your damage threshold until the beginning of your turn, so it's a way of running away from people. Getting up is 2 AP. Charge. I like that a lot, that it costs you more to get up from prone than just a standard movement.
Mm-hmm.
Only because it gives value for investing the 1 point to knock people down.
And try it. Now that we're old, you just get up off the ground real fast. See how it works for you.
Exactly. Opportunity attacks are a thing in this. It is a 0 AP action.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I will head to the corner.
Okay.
And
you have
if
one
I have
more.
an AP
What I was looking up is
left,
what a weight is. Wait, you bide your time. With a wait, you opt for your Blackbird to not act during their turn, instead of holding their AP in reserve to act later in the round.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
but that would let him dodge or parry.
But that would mean you have to watch, or you hold all of your AP.
Oh. No,
Yeah.
but you can save one for dodging or parry, right?
Yes, you can. You can bank one for a dodge or a parry.
I that's what I do.
Okay. All right. Adelaisa, what are you doing?
I'm going to use one to draw my long sword out.
Okay.
And I'm going to use one to move as well.
Okay.
But I'm going to move to the, beside the door.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my last AP point to use my Barovi's Guard from my technique.
Nice.
Which allows me to spend 1 AP to grant me parries and dodges at 0 AP.
Fantastic. All right.
Nice.
So then let me check. Do dodges and parries suffer that same multi-penalty thing? Let's see. Doesn't look like. Cool. Yeah, and the critical effect of your parries doesn't cost you AP. Okay, so then it is the wolves' turn. So we've got 3. One is going to be charging, so it moves twice or strides twice and races in on you, Adelaisa. And then it will make an attack. That is.
Are dodge and parry skills? No.
It's just use your melee, and it's on the
okay.
combat tab. It's listed there too.
Okay, if I click on the combat tab.
You'll just need to add the plus 10% for your protection, for the protective quality of your longsword, or defensive quality. All right, so then first, this one comes racing in, and it's going to try and bite you. The charge grants, I think, just bonus to damage, not to hit. Let me double check. Charge, where are you?
Oh, I see there. Okay. You can always choose one or the other, dodge or parry.
Yes, yeah, you can choose either, and that's there are limited things like only shields can parry range weapons, so you can't.
Oh right, yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, so then first one is racing in. I have he's got a really good melee here. So that is I got a hit. So if you'd like to parry, go right ahead.
Yeah, okay, so I'll click on parry.
And add plus 10.
So I'll just change it to routine then.
Yep. Oh, and hold on. The bite is slow, so it's actually plus 20.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So you batter the one aside. It then will make a second bite attack on you. This is at minus 10. That is a hit. But you get now plus 30 to your parry.
Oh wow, cool. Okay, right, because it stacks.
Yep.
It does not. The drop down does not go above that. Oh, what a!
You want to spend a fortune point and re-roll?
Yeah, let's spend a fortune.
That's not a crit, so.
Right, as long as it's not a crit. I had such a chance, and I rolled. Come on.
Nice.
Narrowly avoiding it. The next wolf comes in. I'm only going to let 2 of them attack you at a time, so another one charges in likewise. This first charge, this is the one that's going to get the big bonus to damage. That is a hit for it. So go ahead and roll your parry. You get plus 10 from your defensive.
Okay, and it's not slow again?
Oh, it is slow again. Yeah, so plus 20. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's where that extra plus 10 was from. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So once
nice.
again, you kept it, and then this final.
That's why I took this defensive stance.
Yes, good call. Hit again. Go ahead and give us a 40 defense against 30 plus 30.
Come on.
Go.
This is her thing. This is her jam.
Yep.
Blocking these wolf bites. Oh, yeah.
The next one is going to race past you, so it's going to charge. I'm going to let you make an attack of opportunity against it as it's racing past. So go ahead and make your attack of opportunity.
Oh, because that's 0 AP.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I just click on longsword to do that?
Just click on longsword, yep. And then let me think here. You have... It's not fast, so no modifiers. Just... Oh, wait.
Oh.
You're engaged... No, you're engaged with more than one thing, so that means you're doing more damage.
Right, I get the bonus to the... Right.
Yeah, because you're
more
lone
damage.
Wolf. Yeah.
Right.
Go right ahead. Make your attack roll. Here we go.
Add an additional damage. Oh, yeah. So if I do hit him, he takes an extra dice of damage.
That's right. And if you click on the... You don't need to go to the edit mode. You can just click down, and it'll allow you to add a second... I think they call it a Fury dice in this, but it's just a D6.
So, right. And so this is just a standard roll.
Just a standard roll.
Oh.
Whew, you want to spend a fortune point re-roll that?
No, I think we better save a few because we just started the fight.
Okay, so you swing at this thing. It's able to sneak past you. Farrakis, it's able to get in on you. That is a hit. You got one. You could either parry or dodge, whichever you prefer. This is slow, so you're going to get plus 10 to your parry or dodge.
I will dodge.
Okay.
Plus 10.
Here we go. Oh, critical fail! Oh no, you can't re-roll. Oh no!
Wow.
Sean, I do appreciate you showing up all the worst aspects of damaging.
Whatever I can do. It's a demonstration.
Okay, let's see here. There's no penalty for the critical... no penalty for the critical failure of it. But let's see here. How much damage? So now, what is your damage threshold? The number at the top.
My damage threshold is, 4, 10, 16, 22.
The first number. First number, 4.
It's 4.
That's good. That ain't good.
That's good, huh?
No.
Like the one at the very top?
The one at the very top is what I'm looking at. Yeah, because it's that, and then it's plus 6 for each one up from that.
Gotcha.
So like yours, for instance, Adelaide, you've got a lower number on as the first number, but that's because you don't. That's your base, and then you've also got armor on that gives +3. So you have an 8, where a base of 5, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I didn't roll any exploding dice, so that is good. So it's a total of 9 plus 5 is 14. How many stages up is that?
That sounds bad. 14, you say?
Yeah.
That does sound bad.
But it is increments of 6, so actually it's only 2 up. So
Okay.
You are, let me think here, you are moderately wounded.
Okay.
Hold on, let me double check this isn't different in Blackbirds. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay, so unharmed is your starting one. It's so 1, you are moderately wounded, which means roll 1d6 for us, please, Farrakis. Do not roll a 6.
Here we go.
There you go. That means no wound. So you're getting closer to, there's no other penalty from it. It just means you're getting much closer to when you are seriously wounded, we roll 2d6. On a 6, you suffer an injury. When you're critically wounded, we roll 3d6. And on a 6, you suffer an injury. And then once you're beyond that, you die.
Okay.
So it's dangerous, but not life-threatening. Fortunately, there was no negative outcome from that. All right, and I needed to spend 1 extra stride to get myself all the way in here. So that is it for them. Guys, everyone click on their token and then roll an initiative. I don't roll initiative. Theirs stays at 13 the whole time. So you always know what you need to beat. Ooh, tied. Adelaisa, what is your agility or your perception bonus? Your PB.
Perception 6.
Nice. You are faster than the wolves. So then it is Farrakis once again, top of the round. Even Farrakis, 3 actions.
I am going to try to shiv a wolf.
Okay. Go right ahead.
All right.
So you are going to make now shiv, I believe, is fast, right?
It yes, fast, finesse, offhand.
Okay, so fast means it is -10 to the dodge or parry. A finesse means that it uses your agility bonus for calculating damage, which I've taken care of for you. And the offhand means if you have that weapon in your offhand, when you attack with your main hand, you do +1 damage. So,
all right.
Go ahead and make your attack. Come on, get a critical hit here.
Let me just see if melee attack is 1 AP.
You could do it.
And you could do multiple attacks.
Yep.
Then?
Second attack is at -10. Third attack at -20. You can also spend multiple APs to do a targeted attack, which does an extra D6 of damage.
And what did Adelaisa do with her? She went on a altogether defensive right then.
She spent
Is that
1
what she
point
did?
to sort of go on a defensive bent, and then the other 2 were getting a longsword out and getting in position. I believe she is going to start fucking up wolves on her next turn.
Yep.
But the special thing I did was my technique.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
Wanna
remember,
make sure I wasn't
Farrakis, you can
missing
spend a
anything.
fortune point to swap out your technique so long as it's not been extinguished. So if you find that the
Alright.
other one is more helpful for you, you could spend a fortune point and swap it out.
I think I'm going to spend an AP to draw my other shiv,
Okay?
and then I'm going to attack.
Go ahead. So you'll do +1 damage on this. And remember, you can also spend a fortune point to, if you hit, to automatically set the damage to 6. So you roll an extra 6 on whatever
Alright.
you rolled.
And you said +10?
No. The plus -10 to their defense because it's fast.
Yeah. Yep. There we
Nice.
go.
Nice.
Okay, so then I get to dodge. Dodge is a 55. Let's see here. So you swing at this thing with your thing. I rolled a 94, so that is a hit. 12 is... Ooh. So it is moderately wounded.
I think I've got to use my... I think I should make the hits count. I'm going to go ahead and spend one on that damage.
Nice! A fortune
option?
point. Okay, so I add 6 to it. Let me just adjust the fortune points here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shit, here. So that's 18. So it's actually seriously wounded then. Would you kindly give us a 2d6 roll? You want to roll a 6 on one of those. Because we want to see wounds.
Another one coming.
Okay. No! All right, but it is seriously wounded now. So it's 3 wounds on the one wolf. All right. You know what I could do? I could color code these wolves. There we go. Let's do... So the red one has had 3 on it. That one's had 0. That one's had 0. Look at that. Necessity is the mother of invention. Okay, so it's a real good hit. It just didn't seem to. It's bleeding, but it doesn't seem to do anything meaningful yet. One more AP. What would you like to do?
I'm attacking again.
Remember, you can spend also fortune points, but you can spend fortune points to get APs. So if you're in dire straits,
and you need AP for dodging, right?
You got it.
Yeah, right. This is always. I like these games with the like. Do you keep the point to dodge or not?
It's a tough one. Gosh, I think I have to hold on to one. I don't know how. You got to be pretty tough not to hang on to an AP. I got to hang on to an AP.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm good.
All right. Then it is Adelaisa. You got 3 AP. What are you doing?
Okay. So, sorry, Kev, I know you said before, but can you tell me what the targeted attack does again?
Targeted attack, it does, so it's 2 AP to do it, but what it does is 1d6 extra damage on a hit.
Oh.
And if you pick either body, say arm, body, head, or leg, and then it gains a condition. Condition is disarmed, wounded, disoriented, or prone after a hit.
Oh.
So if you hit a leg, you knock it prone. If you hit in the head, it becomes disoriented. And where's the conditions? Hold on.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for the targeted attack.
What do you want to hit?
On one of the 2. I'm going to try and hit it in the body.
Excuse me. 1d6 plus your CB modifier.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to finish this thing off in a blow.
Okay. So you bring, and so you're going for the body. Body is wounded. Let me tell you what that...
well, I'm just hoping that's going to increase the chances of the wound happening to take it out.
Yeah, let's see here. I know these... Wait, did I load the conditions?
Maybe
Come
you did.
on, Kev. Did it? No, I didn't.
No.
God dang. You know what? It's one of the... I was like, no, why would we need this? Kev, you frickin' dummy. Jeez.
We always need everything.
Exactly. Like, we always need this shit. Why would I?
Conditions are on page 165. If
that is a great help. Thank you very much. Okay, 165. So wounded must add +1 AP to the cost of movement actions. Disoriented is +1 AP to the cost of reactions like dodging or opportunity attacks, and then. Disarmed obviously makes, and prone, those other things are self-evident. So does that affect...
So if I go for the head and I hit... but it doesn't affect it unless he misses on his dodge or parry.
What it does is it costs... No. It costs an extra AP. Remember, normally dodging costs 1 AP.
Yeah. But is that only if I succeed?
Only if you succeed, that's right, yeah.
Right, okay.
And if it lives through it, because, with an extra... What's your CB?
Yeah, my CB on strength?
No, CB. It's just your combat bonus.
Oh, your combat.
So right underneath is the percentile number. There'll be combat, and then underneath that there's CB. It's your skill on your main tab, not on your combat tab.
Oh, yeah, on the main tab.
Yeah.
6.
CB6. So it'll be 1d6 plus 6 on top of whatever you rolled, and that d6 can also explode.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do?
Yeah, roll this attack and hope that it hits and he doesn't block it.
And you're going for the body? or the head?
I'm going to go for the body.
Body. Okay, so body's wounded. -1, +1 AP for all movement attacks. Go ahead. Come on, big money.
So I have no bonus to hit him. It's just straight up the roll.
Just straight up roll, and if you roll a crit on this critical hit, it cannot be parried. Come on. Oh, good hit! Holy smokes!
Roll, but
all right. Now, because your longsword's not fast, so it doesn't get any bonus to the dodge. So it but hold on. Let's see here. I used up all of my AP. You get the AP back at the start of your turn. These things are all defenseless.
Oh, you don't recover your AP. That was a question I had. Yeah, you don't recover your AP. Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. So that is a hit.
Oh my god. Okay, this does an insane amount of damage.
So hold on, and because you're facing more than one thing, you've already rolled the extra dice of damage. Roll another 1d6 exclamation mark +6.
Okay, and I'm using my special lone wolf effect.
Yeah, and that's I see you've already got that in there because you rolled 2d6.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you already rolled 2d6 on this one.
No, but the ability I have how did I do that?
Because you said
I just clicked on sword.
You said it when you did the opportunity attack.
Oh, is that where it says fury dice?
Yeah, yes, exactly. It should say 1 and you've got it at 2 right now, right?
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't change it. Okay.
You did during the opportunity attack. That's when we talked about it last time.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But just roll 1d6 exclamation mark +6.
Oh, but my other ability, once before I rest, I can choose to resolve an automatic 6.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I want to make sure.
So that means it's a 6. So then that's an automatic 6. Roll. You still get to roll another d6 +6.
Well, wouldn't it be +12?
No, because it's a 6. Every time you roll a 6, it counts as exploding.
Right. Okay.
So because you use that ability, we count it as 6. So that's a 7. The +6 I'm getting you to add. Remember, that's your combat bonus.
Right. The CB.
Right. So that's a 7 plus the 6 that you rolled initially is 13 plus the 10 you rolled is 23. What does it look like as you kill this wolf in one stroke?
Yeah, I mean, it's just exactly that. It's just, I think that this isn't the first time we've encountered hungry wolves in the forest, and I just know how deadly they are, and it's sort of us or them, and it's sort of the block their attacks and just sort of turn the sword and just sort of straight through the heart. Like just knows where the killing blow needs to land.
Amazing. I see you had 2 hands. Were you wielding this thing two-handed?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was actually 24. Yeah, so it is dead. You have 1 more AP left. What would you like to do with it?
I'm going to spend that AP on my technique again to do Barovi's Guard.
All right, so once again, you see your opportunity, you stab this one wolf, and then once again, you get into your defensive stance.
Yeah.
All right, it is wolf o'clock. So we've got, let's start with Farrakis here. Farrakis, I make my first attack against you. So that is, it is a hit. Would you like to dodge? Or you only have to decide to defend if I hit. Same thing for me.
Dodging.
Okay, go ahead and give us a dodge.
Okay, and is it slow attack or no?
It is slow still. Yeah, the bite's always slow, so +10.
All right. There we go.
There you go. Yes. You're out of the way. All right, then
slip out of the way.
Follows up a second attack. This is at -10. If it hits, you'll have +20 to your dodge because he gets -10 to the hit. That's a miss, but I'm going to spend a misfortune because this is a hungry. If there's nothing else you know about me, you guys would know that I will not leave dogs unfed.
Yeah.
So,
and though I'm out of AP, I could spend a fortune to.
Yes, you could. I did. No, I did hit because I got a +20. So yeah, that's a hit once again. Would you like to dodge?
I would. So I'll spend a fortune.
Okay. You got
A
it.
dodge. Slow weapon again, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is plus 20 this time. Slow, and it's a second attack.
Oh
no! You're hurt already, aren't you, Farragus?
Yes.
I am.
Okay, fortunately, you didn't dodge or didn't charge this time. Your damage threshold is a 4, right?
Can I spend a reroll, or can you only do one per?
Yeah. Oh no, you only spend to reroll once.
Okay.
Let's take a look. This will give me a chance to look up. I can't remember if you can only spend 1 fortune point per turn. I think that's if it is, that's unfair because I mean, like, fortune is a lot of fun. I think once per roll, but let's
it's all good.
Let's take a look here.
Yeah.
You're much more deferential to the rules as written than I am. I'm like, fuck it. Let's do whatever we want.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here.
Well, it was good. It was going to benefit me too. So I'm also in that position of like, it's fine. If I don't want to, whatever.
Okay, there's the other ways. I just keep finding more and more things I like about this game.
I like how the combat is playing out so far.
Yeah, if you want to blow through all your fortune points, you're fucking free to do so.
Right.
You can't keep re-rolling things. You only get to re-roll once. And I think it's actually... Hold up. It might be the better of the two results. You spend immediately... No, you must accept the results of the new roll. There's another game I was reading that has the pick your best.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Come on, good roll.
So I can.
You absolutely can. Players should be encouraged to spend fortune during each weaving. If fortune is not spent during one weaving, it doesn't carry over to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
So
he blows through his gold.
Well, you can't. Well, the thing is, you can't re-roll. Oh no, this is your. Wait, is this your you haven't re-rolled this dodge yet, right?
Oh, right. I spent one for an action point. That's why I spent one.
Yeah, yep. So go ahead. You're down to 1. I got 4, 5.
Farragus blows through his gold, and he blows through his fortune points. That's
exactly.
Pretty much.
Here it comes. Come on. Come on.
Plus 20, correct? Plus 20?
Plus 20, yep. Yeah,
there
you go.
There we go.
All right, now this last one, here's the fun thing. Here's why it's awesome to do that. Is because with you spending so much stuff, I can spend.
Trouble.
Oh, this is so fucking good. First, I'm going to save the last action point from this one. The one that you have hit before, or the one that is uninjured, that's with you, Adelaisa.
Yeah.
I'm spending 2 AP to spend 5 misfortune. Ow! And I summon 2 more wolves. So there are 2 more wolves in this fight now. Boom, boom. Who you see running across the field, and then it's going to spend its last one just to prepare to dodge. End of round, guys. We're on round 3. Would you guys each click on your token? Go ahead and roll initiative. I love that I don't roll initiative, that you know what I've got. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same.
It's always great with you guys having something to work towards to beat.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Awesome. Adelaisa jumping in here. So top of the round, Adelaisa, what are you doing? 3 actions, 3 AP.
Yeah.
So these things, I'm picturing them being probably 14 strides away. No, probably 21. So they're going to have to spend all 3 actions to get in, or take 1 stride or 1 hustle and then a charge to get in. So right now, if you move further in, it would mean they can't get to you in this round. But there is, these things. That one is still facing you and would have an attack of opportunity.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try my other ability here.
Okay.
And seeing that I need to dispense of this one as quickly as possible, I'm going to use Mr. Labs Open for 0 AP. I spring into action, launching an all-out offense. I cannot use reactions until my turn, but I lose any penalties for multiple attacks.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm going to start trying to kill this thing.
Okay. So that was 0 AP to get Ustalav's advance or whatever it's
So then
called.
the first one is a melee attack.
Okay. It is a flat 1 attack. Ooh.
Yeah.
You want to fortune point that?
Yep. Let's
Okay.
do it. That's why we got all that
Heck
fortune,
yeah.
right? Come on. We need to start taking these things
There
down.
you
There
go.
we go.
Solid hit. All right, so I did
Nice.
save 1 point for a dodge. So I've got a 55% chance. I did successfully dodge that first one.
Okay. Here comes the second one.
Okay, I'm out. It's in a position right now where you see it cannot dodge. So this will be.
Wait a second, Kevin. I need to change my damage down. I'm only fighting one wolf. My
your
ability flips, doesn't it?
yes, so because you're only fighting one wolf, what that means is the damage goes down, but your chance to hit goes up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And your chance to parry.
Right. So it didn't affect that attack, but I need to change my
the thing
damage
is,
dice.
actually, I think what it means is you get the benefit of both. Because remember, Lone Wolf is if you're outnumbered, not you're engaged with more than one. Duel requires you to be facing only one opponent. Lone Wolf is if there's more of them than there is of you, which there is once again, you still get that extra
Right.
damage.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Like this
Adelaide
is the
fights-
one tiny chime that this is not going to happen often, but
Yep.
she's got it right now. Okay, so it's actually plus 10 on this roll. Here we go.
There you
Yes.
go. Okay, so that is a hit. So 13 points of damage is.
And so it's 14 because I'm using it two-handed.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So
good
14.
It's the only one not added in there.
Yeah.
Good call.
And if you're trying to take this thing down, remember you could spend a fortune point and count that, add +6 to the damage.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fill it up again. I like the swinginess of the fortune misfortune.
I genuinely, I looked at the thing, I'm like, when the hell am I ever going to have 5 misfortune? Like, there we go.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Okay. Then I think I can only use that ability once per encounter, though.
Yeah, it would be kind of silly if there's just endless wolves. I guess it would be good for churning out experience. We just keep pouring it in. The DM just keeps 5 and getting
Okay.
more wolves.
So then, let me see here. So that was 19 damage. That means, let's see here, minor set. That is a serious. Give us a 2d6 roll. Let's see if we can get our first injury of the game. You want to roll a 6 on one of them.
Yeah, come on. No!
Oh, you know what? You also have, there are chaos dice on your character sheet if you don't want to go to that. On the top, you could toggle that. Let's try that. Let's see if that treats you better.
Oh, that's what that's for. Oh, I see. Yeah. It's just so you just click on chaos dice.
Yeah, hit 2 and then click on.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks better too. Yeah,
Order prevails.
Nice.
That's awesome.
like
Okay,
it.
so that was action
Interesting.
number 2.
2. So I have one left.
One left. What do you want to do with it?
I'm gonna take the risk here to just go all out and do my third attack. here.
Nice. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Come
One more
on.
longsword.
And plus 10 to hit, remember?
Yeah.
Because you're dueling this sucker.
For the duel.
Here we go. Come
Plus
on.
10.
There's
Come
that
on.
crit.
Yes.
So
But another
15, that's
15
enough to
damage.
slay it. It can't defend. This wolf is dead. What does it look like as you take
Beautiful.
this one down?
This one's much more like a much tougher fight. Like she's probably changed her stance and just goes on a flurry offensive. So it's like the first one, it gets its claw in the way, and then she just keeps coming much quicker than this thing
Nice.
is used to
Wow.
being beat down. So it's just a flurry of
Beautiful. What you
blade
could do as well,
slashes.
you could spend a fortune point and take another AP and move further into the room if you like.
Oh, right. You can preemptively do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Why don't I do that?
Okay.
Is there a Oh no, okay, that was a actual combat action to flank something, right? It's not a positional thing anymore in this game. It's a
flank.
I see it takes 1 AP, so it's like it's not like I can move in such a way to assist.
Yeah, flank is a specific attack.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you move in. All right, then it is Farrakis. You hear the yelp of another wolf, and then Adeliza moves into the room where you are facing this this one wolf. What are you doing?
And so, what have I? What? How many are on me, if any?
Just one.
Just one.
There's still that one that's on you.
I am attacking.
Okay. Hilarious. There's 3 cloth bookmarks in this, and at the time, I'm like, why the fuck are there 3 in here? Now I'm like, why aren't there 5?
Yeah, right.
I want more to be able to flip around.
Standard roll, right? +0.
Yes, +0. It'll be yes.
Because the fast is a minus on you.
It penalizes defenses. So go ahead.
All right,
you want to fortune point that sucker?
Let's see. Probably should. That's a lot of dice I rolled. What is that normal?
What's that?
My screen got covered in dice. Maybe that's just a weird artifact of something.
Oh, it could be an artifact. Yeah, I don't see anything.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, what happened? Yeah, I'll spend one. Yeah,
nice,
I'll spend it. All right, here we go.
Oh, no. All right, so 1 AP's done. That first attack is a miss. What do you want to do with your second action? You got 2 more APs.
2 more APs. I'm going to attack again.
Okay. Those will be minus 10.
10, right?
Yep. Come on. There you go.
There we go.
All right, and then let's see here. It's a 55% chance of a I failed my dodge, so that is a hit. It's 13 damage because you got a 1 in your offhand, and 13 is 2 more stages. What does it look like as you kill this wolf?
I think it's basically I take out its legs, and it's basically bleeding on a slow death. That's sitting there kind of whimpering, and then it dies.
Okay. Well, then let me see. I want to check one thing here because it's another little mechanical thing that I think is pretty cool. That was in the trappings section. Here we go. All right. Oh, okay, right. All right, so then you have 1 more AP.
Saving it for reaction.
Okay. All right, then I need to make a what do you call it? A resolve check here. With 3 dead wolves, I'm going to see if these other 2 are willing to carry on. They most certainly are. So there's 2 more wolves right at the entrance to this room. Who have come racing in. End of round 3, on to round 4. Guys, click on your tokens. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Right.
19 for Farrakis. Nice.
Ooh.
Once again, Farrakis takes the lead. Oh, no, Adeliza. Remember, you could spend a fortune point to jump up in the initiative order if you'd like. That would give me 5, and there'll be more wolves. We're here all night.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's just an endless loop.
I do have other abilities, though. There's a cool, like, for instance, just for your edification, I have a 3 misfortune ability that does cost me 1 AP, but if on a successful bite, I do extra damage as it worries in on your body.
Oh, man, this is a really tough choice. They did take pause at the door.
They're coming in. Like, they're definitely coming in to get you.
Oh, okay, they are definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you want, you can wait till Farrakis' turn is over before you decide to spend that, if you like.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's do that. Let's wait and see what happens on his turn.
Okay, Farrakis, you got 3 actions. What do you want to do? 3 AP.
And what would What was it that I can if I hold, I have to hold all three or something like
Correct.
that, right?
Yeah. So, for instance, if you decided that you wanted to wait, you could say, I'm going to wait till after Adelaide. If Adelaide's going to spend a fortune point to jump up in initiative.
I think I'm going to wait. I'll wait for them to come to me. So, does that make sense?
It does, but you don't get to ready an action the way that you do in, say, Pathfinder or D&D or whatnot.
So the only thing I could use those 3 for would be for reactions at that point, or
correct.
I see. I will. And how far away? How many strides are they away from me?
They are they're within your one hustle. One AP would get you within them. They're definitely within 5 strides.
I will. So 1 AP will get me there.
Definitely, yeah. In fact, if you wanted to spend 2 AP on it, they're probably a little more than 3 strides away. You could charge, which would get you into there, but then also do 1d6 extra damage.
Yeah, let's do it. I charge forward with knife. Go flying up there. Go past Adeliza and.
Now, what technique do you have active right now?
I have the Prowler.
Prowler.
The technique, you asked me, right? That one is sneaking. Sneaking.
Oh, wow. So this is, never saw it coming. Is you able to take someone out and take someone in custody or take someone hostage, not hostage, captive. Good Lord, I was running through my mental thesaurus like crazy.
Yeah. I don't think that would be here.
No,
though,
nothing.
Right?
There was something. Yeah, the look out is the one I was thinking of. Once per round, after an ally is successfully targeted with an attack, but before any reactions are declared, you may choose to call out to them. If you do so, the ally immediately gains 1 AP. So you see those symbols that it's on the. I'm not sure which one. If you look at the actual card, there's a symbol on it, and it's the subtlety and shadow. If you continue getting more tiers in that, like say you were tier 2, it would mean that it would gain 2 temporary AP, like it's a number equal to however many you've got in it. So as you increase in tier, you gain. That's why I wanted to have both in there. Like for instance, Stalker gives you plus 10 per tier in shadow or step in the path for shadow and subterfuge, plus 10 per tier you've spent in it.
Oh, so that symbol is the shadow and subterfuge symbol.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Because the bow and blade one's different. Each of the different paths is different.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
and that makes Lookout. It makes Lookout a really cool ability.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So sorry. So you're gonna. You said you're gonna charge in.
Charging.
Yep.
Like so many games we try out, Kev, this one just cries out for like a set, like not just a single session, but like an actual little campaign, right?
It's a really good game. This is the one I read over the holidays, and I just devoured it. It was really, really enjoyed it. So, we're not even touching on spellcasting or any other weird shit that's in here. A whole host of just completely fucked up and not. I don't know, fucked up, interesting stuff, really, really unique. So, Farrakis, if you're going to attack, that's 2 AP. Go ahead and give us an attack.
Yep. Okay.
And let me just check one thing here, Farrakis, because it does.
Maybe if you drop one, the last one will be forced to reevaluate.
What I'm thinking is I want to know about sneaking. Like, if he can try and because if this thing is surprised, what I could do, because I think you told me last turn we were having some audio issues, but didn't you say you were spending that last AP to try and hide so you could jump on this thing? Isn't that what you told me? Because I think that's what I said. So here's what we're going to do. Yeah, exactly. So why don't you do a contested stealth and awareness check? Let's see if this thing knows where you are, because if you don't, then this is a surprised opponent, and you might trigger some of your other cool shit.
All right.
It also means, I believe, if they're surprised, they cannot defend.
So right on.
The way,
remember,
zero,
right?
So contested is, remember, you're going to check. You make your check. If you succeed, take the amount you succeed by. So your score in the skill minus whatever the tens digit is, plus your agility bonus.
Nice.
I just barely failed, so yeah, you for sure succeeded. So this thing it's racing in, has no idea you're there, Farrakis. It cannot defend.
Amazing.
Nice.
Make this one count.
Yes.
All right. Going back to combat.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
You fortune point that?
Do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
5, we're up to that threshold of 5 again. Come on, baby.
Yeah.
No, Jesus. So it's aware of you now. Oh, my goodness. You have 1 more AP.
I gotta save it. now.
Adelaisa, do you wish to spend a fortune point and seize initiative?
Okay, yes, because I see the real danger that Farrakis has put himself in.
I mean, I was so impressive when I went running past you, and then it was like, what? What are you doing?
I got him. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right, so Adelaisa.
Yeah. Okay, let me just check the combat actions. I'll tell you what I want to do. Let's see if that makes sense. I want to move to the door where he is. Did it require a charge to get there? Or
just a hustle. You could
hustle.
charge, but that would take you 2 actions. But I guess you also get to attack at the end of it. The thing is, I think you take a charge, you take a -10 to active defenses.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to charge in there to attack. What I'm trying to do is get in there, get between, like, kind of move Farrakis out of the way, like, so that it's me, like, so that I'm in front of him, and then use my last action point to
shove him out of. That's where is it? It is
sort of just shove him over a little.
Yeah, takes 1 AP to do that.
Yeah, that's one. So 1 to move over there, 1 to shove him out of the way, and my last action point on my defensive.
Here's what I'll do is, so 1 to get in, 1 to push. Farrakis, give us a coordination check. Let's just see if you're knocked prone.
Yeah.
Your coordination is quite good, so I think you should be okay.
Don't fall over. Don't fall over.
Coordination.
Nice.
Yes.
So you stagger back, and then I'm sorry. What was the last? You're going to take that defensive stance?
Take Bravi's guard and try and keep these things at bay.
All right. So I've got. Let's see here. First, I got 1 attack on you. I got 2 different wolves. Wolf number blue. He is. That is a hit. I really only need to roll a 10s digit on these guys. So Adelaisa, your first dodge. This is slow. So +10 to your dodge. Or to your parry.
Oh, I'm on the wrong tab.
Looking for it. +20 because your longsword is defensive.
Okay, parry at +20. Here we go.
Oh no!
Yes.
Nice. So first one is a success. Second attack. I will roll. I'm saving 3 for if I get through. I'm gonna
bite the crap out of me. Yeah.
So this will be -10. Let's see. That's only 10s. I hit once again. No crit.
Okay.
I guess that's the other risk is if I roll a crit, you can't defend.
No, I know.
Okay.
So this one's at 30 though.
Yep, 30. That's right. Yeah.
That's as high as it goes. Like
critical success.
Does that do anything?
It doesn't cost you an AP. I think is
which I already have used something to.
Yeah, because you got your thing. All right, and then it's third one is going to say to dodge. Second wolf, the let's see here, ochre number wolf. Shit, I rolled a 66. I'm going to double check to make sure that's I got a 70. That is a hit that gets through. It's a crit. I think you're just so good at waving the other one off. Maybe you're a little off balance because of Farrakis getting him out of the way. So I do hit. What's your damage threshold? It's 8, right?
8, yeah.
8. Okay. I roll. Oh, exploding. 8. 12.
I think this thing's going to kill me.
13. So it's 13, 14, 15, 20. Well, what does that put you to?
20 is... What do you count the levels? The BB's the first one?
Let's see here. So
that's 3 levels. Yeah, it's 3 levels.
So 1. Yeah, yes. So it's 1, 2, 3 levels. So you are seriously wounded.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, boy. Would you give us a 2d6 roll, please?
All right, here we go. Chaos.
No 6s, no 6s, no 6s, no 6s. Whoa! Right. It's held. Okay. Then it is its second attack. So it is, let's see, 10s. I missed. And then its third. Is it going to push its luck? No, it's not. It's going to save for dodges. Because I'm boring that way. Nah, fuck it. It'll attack.
It got that bite in.
Minus 20. It did. Yeah, that crit.
It's bloodthirsty.
Oh, shit. Hold on. I can fucking winnow. I forgot to do that. Because I want to give you some fortune points back, too. So I'm going to worry.
So you're doing it for us, right, Kev?
I'm doing it only for you, not because I want to cheat. So
you guys need some fortune points. Let me take care of that.
So that's another 3. Yeah. Give us a 1 more D6 roll there, Adelaisa. I only bumped it up by 6. So one chaos dice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. 1 chaos dice. I almost just rolled it.
All right. So, however, that does bring you down. You are critically wounded right now. So you're down. This is your next hit's going to be pretty dangerous on you.
Well, no, but if I take 1 more, I'm slain.
Yes. You have a fate point, though.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you can. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think you can use fortune to lower. I could be wrong about this. I may be making this up. Can you spend a fortune to lower your damage threshold? Am I making that up?
Maybe. Let's take a look here. It was on 26, I think you said.
Yes.
So. Get an extra AP.
Oh, no, it's peril. It's peril, not damage. My bad.
Yeah, no. You can't.
Nope. Made it up.
Yeah, okay. That's okay. There probably is a game that I think there is an action you can take to do that, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is it for the wolves. Then it's top of round 5, I guess. So once again, guys, click on your tokens and go ahead and roll initiative. 17 for Farrakis.
Look at my token. There we go.
19.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Adelaisa.
Nice.
You are. Did you click on your token, Farrakis?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I see his number.
I see 17, but it was displaying as 19 in the turn order. I fucked up. I may have had it selected, so I blame the Fate Weaver. He's tampering with the fates.
Indeed.
Okay, then it is top of the round. Adelaisa, what are you doing? 3 AP. 2 fresh wolves, all engaged with you. If they get 1 more hit in, it's going to be ugly.
So this is a question. I mean, not that I want to end the combat at this point, but if I extinguish my card.
Yep.
So what it says, You
can click on it. See the little speech thing? Click on that.
Oh,
or speech bubble. Yep. It'll display it in chat. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay, the effect circles.
Nice.
Circle your enemies in a slow and threatening posture with sword in hand. Until the end of this combat scene, any enemy entering or crossing within strides of the Blackbird's position is struck down in a flash and instantly slain. If I take any other actions, this maneuver ends.
Yep. So you would have to be for that to matter. You'd have to be disengaged. So
okay, that's what I was asking.
Here's what you could do: is if you want. Now, is there? Hold up. Is there an action to disengage?
I'm just trying to play like as if this was my actual character, and I really don't want her to die, right?
Well, and also the what do you call it?
I'd certainly rather extinguish a card than lose a character, right?
Yeah, and this is making this is what I think is so interesting about the what do you call it? The extinguish abilities is that like this is part of what makes the characters such badasses. Like you're definitely mortal because you guys are both, I think, like on the cusp of being slain, but you also have these incredible abilities if you can get them to trigger.
Well, and what I'm picturing is like we've kind of like they came to the door and we rushed forward, so like they're kind of like right on the cusp of coming all the way into the room. So yeah, like you're saying, I'd have to spend one fate point to take an extra move to move backwards.
Well, I'm trying to see what you can do to disengage.
Right.
And I don't know unless there's an attack action.
Well, it's going to cause them to have one last attack of opportunity.
Yeah, like I don't see stuff because that's like what you could do. What I'm thinking is that you could spend a fortune point to get an extra AP, stride back, and then what do you call it? And then leave yourself open for, and then spend the remaining 3 APs to take your stance. Then anything moving in this room would be slain. The trouble is you cannot dodge attacks of opportunity. Or opportunity
exactly.
Attacks. You cannot dodge or parry them. So I'm trying to figure out what
it's like a risk reward thing, but I mean they're too. I think, as from what I've then I wouldn't do it. Because...
Maneuver is a 2A on page 170. Maneuver. You retreat from combat, disengaging from your foes while avoiding their blows. You may maneuver a distance 1 stride to leave an engagement, allowing them to avoid opportunity attacks. The trouble is it's 2 AP.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't do that.
No, I can't do it.
Okay. What are you thinking then?
Okay. Well, then let's just attack the one or one of the two.
What's your longsword extinguish ability?
Oh.
Remember, you could spend a fortune point to swap it out.
That is true.
I can't remember
I'll just click on it again so people can see
for those listening at home, this wouldn't take normally as long to, talk through.
If this was my character, I'd know my cards probably pretty well.
Song of Steel. Find a weakness in the opponent's stance and armor. The Blackbird runs them through. The target is slain.
Oh, so I could spend a fate point fortune point
to swap out to
swap my card, right, and then
just
use the Song of Steel and just take one of them out.
Yeah, what the downside of that is because you're extinguishing that means you're out of techniques until you rekindle.
Right.
So what do you think?
I
love the decisions you're forced to make in this game. It's great.
No, and I like it. I think we're trying to really showcase, I think, what the game could be about or how what I'm saying is I think after what just happened, I'm pretty desperate. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to spend a fate point.
Okay.
Fortune. I'll get that eventually. Fortune point. Swap cards to the longsword technique and spend 3 APs on it's called Song of Steel. And I think it's a lot like the combination of the 2 attacks you've seen that I've used to take these wolves down. It's sort of a flurry of attacks, but they're like all feints to just position the wolf exactly where I know I can just stab it right through with one blow.
I'm picturing too is that I'm not sure if it's like any samurai duel, like an Ijutsu duel, where like you just see like one samurai just like shifts the stance. In more modern context, it'd be like some of the Jedi fights, like the final fight between Obi-Wan and Maul is like that, where they line up and then like each of them like shifts one stance and then goes to another stance. That's almost like what you're doing right now. It's going to a different stance and then explode out.
Well, I just love the idea of like throwing a blow like to get it to bite at my sword. Swing another blow where it moves its paw so I don't hit it, but it's just positioning him perfectly to like come over the top of his back and just like ram him through.
Sean, why don't you give us a percentile roll, please? I think 30% or less, and this thing keeps fighting. The last remaining one. Okay. That is more than it's gonna. You can see this thing is getting ready to book. Farrakis, what are you gonna do? You've been knocked back, so you're not engaged with this thing anymore. Adeliza has positioned herself to be between you. What do you want to do?
You could literally do the same thing when it flees.
Oh, you mean
spend a fortune point to switch your cards and use your extinguish ability to slay.
I don't have the same.
He has one that has to be attack. It's a range attack from when he's hidden. He's got one extinguish.
Hide.
Yeah, his stuff is like his extinguish ability allows him, if he's fighting on his own, to just disappear. He just leaves the fight, or it allows him to, if he's from the shadows.
I thought it was just a range attack, but you actually have to hide first. Okay.
Yeah.
One surprise. Yeah. Get to it. I don't know. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna let it go. We're both wounded, so he's gonna. Yeah,
hang
he's
back.
Not gonna go crazy.
All right, so then Adeliza, you have this thing is going to maneuver, so it moves one stride back, so you don't get an attack of opportunity because it's not suicidal. It backs away and then turns and so technically it's 6 strides, or sorry, it is 8 strides away from you.
I let it go too.
Okay, there's enough dead that are here. All right, guys. So that is the last. With that sound, the wolf goes racing off. You have 5 dead wolves in here, though.
I think Farrakis sits on the ground and puts his back against a wall and our palace seems like it needs better locks, and sits there and kind of, sort of tend my wounds for a minute, and feel sorry for myself momentarily as I try.
Before we do that, let's quickly, guys, each click on your token. Let's set the initiative ladder once again. Click on your token, roll initiative, so we are ready for the next scrap.
For the bears to come through the door.
Exactly. All right, so you guys are good to go.
I like that the first round is already predetermined too.
Yep. And I don't roll initiative. I love that it's a fixed initiative for the adversaries.
Right. So depending on what bursts in on us,
anything that focuses on you guys, because that's really all that matters. Do you guys succeed? Do you fail? That's the only thing I'm concerned about. And when you add another, it's fine for other games. It's something that I'd necessarily change about other games. It is something that is very cool about this. That it is
sufficient.
Yeah, and it puts the focus on where I think the focus should be is on you guys. Are you guys faster or are you slower? And I like that's divorced from my whatchamacallit, from my roles.
A little less rolling for the GM is generally good.
Absolutely. There's a reason I got Simba Room in my stack of stuff for the new year. So, I really should just put a stack of nothing but dark fantasy games. It's like I love so many of them. Okay, so hold on. Now for healing, there is neither of you, in spite of all the, the peril in that, neither of you actually suffered an injury.
Yeah.
So that means.
right, we're wounded but not injured.
Yeah.
There's a distinction. Right?
Yeah, so you didn't suffer any injuries. So, which means I don't get to use my really cool table for this. Did any of you suffer critical failures? Adeliza, you were hit with a critical hit.
I was hit by a critical hit. Yes.
So that means your armor is now worn.
Oh.
So that means you reduce your damage threshold in it by 1. So if you go into your armor, reduce the damage threshold from 3 to 2.
Is that like damaged?
Yeah.
You can repair it, maybe?
You absolutely, yeah. During rekindling, routine maintenance may be performed to keep one's trappings in a good place. What is it here? Oh, hold on. Maintaining and repairing is under rekindling, which is hilariously on the next page. It's like, look in that section, by which mean the facing page. Crafting, here we go. Repair weapons and damage. This is only worn. Now, let's see here. Is tradecraft...
Yeah, there's a skill under willpower called tradecraft.
Yeah, tradecraft. Tradecraft is a trained-only skill, a special skill. So, I don't believe you can do that.
No, we don't have that.
But it gives you something you could do when you meet up with a craftsman. Or really, I mean, almost anyone who's got training in that. Let me double check and see if you can spend anything.
Maybe when we, with our riches, we'll be able to buy some better.
No, you can use... Special skills can be used by a Blackbird without skill ranks in it, but you must flip to fail.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, and the Gambison, its ability is it's workable.
Yep.
I'm assuming that means that it's easily fixed.
Absolutely, plus 10%. And because it's only worn, it is a routine check, so it's plus 10% as well.
Ooh, cool.
Okay, so we know how to fix that. Well, since we're thinking of this right now, why don't you give us a tradecraft test at plus 20, but this is flip to fail.
Right. Okay, so you roll... Yeah. So let's try this.
Okay.
Just because we have it in our brains.
Yep. Fucking beautiful. That's just success either
the
way.
45
nice.
Is success either way.
So there you go. All right, then for binding wounds. Okay, so let's see here. Successful and heal. Is heal a special test as well? Yeah, heal's a special skill as well. So heal can be used because you guys are so badly injured. It is minus 20 to a heal test. So,
but it's not flip to fail, or it is?
It would be flip to fail because you're not. I don't think either of you guys are trained in it.
Oh, right. Okay. Anything you're not trained in that has a star is flip to fail.
Yeah. Okay. So you could try that if you like, but it's minus 20 and flip to fail because you're not. I don't think either of you are trained in it. And
what's the down? Oh, I see. If you crit failed, you could make it worse.
Critical success. Yeah. Critical fail. No. What it means is failure, critical failure, and sublime failure on the test means you cannot begin recuperating until you undergo successful treatment.
No, let's not mess with it.
Critical
I think we would already know.
Gets even better. Critical fail also indicates that your wounds suffer from infection.
Yeah.
No, I'm done. I'm out already.
Yeah, we're not touching those wounds.
Okay, so then, with that gone, what do we see in fiction? As that thing runs off, and you guys look at one another, what's the interaction between the two of you?
Well, Farracus, he plopped down on the floor and put his back against. He scooched up against with his back to the wall, and then he said, "Our palace needs better locks," and then it's like cleans his knife on some whatever, and is kind of exhausted, feigning exhaustion, a little exhaustion, and he's hurt, and but smiling through the through a little bit of blood. And how are you, Adeliza? Did you take it worse than I?
I think she kind of would lift her little spot on the armor to show him the bad wound.
Ooh.
Yes.
Indeed.
She coughs up a little bit of blood.
We need friends that are better skilled in healing, don't we?
Yes. And maybe some better armor.
Better food, better drink.
At least at least we could have blankets, some wolf skin blankets tomorrow night.
Indeed. Can work on that.
Okay. So then, here's another thing is you could, in theory, make a tradecraft check, try and skin these things, because this could be spoils. This is more shit you could use to try and trade in when you guys get to civilization.
Right. I don't see why we wouldn't try to skin them.
Okay. Who would
There's
like
nothing
to?
we can do about healing, right? We already. So it'd be overnight. Our best bet is a little bit of natural healing.
Sleeping in a bad situation like this, you reduce your damage condition by 1,
That'll have
Sleeping
to do.
in a good, in a good, like a safe position, it's by 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
My tradecraft is 48. Just for our. How are you, Adeliza?
39. So you might as well be the roll for the tradecraft.
Okay.
And I don't think just because you're not trained in it, I'm not going to let you help with this. But
No,
but let's take
I've
a
never
look.
skinned a wolf.
Let's see the difficulty here, though. If it is a
No one has.
okay, so tradecraft.
Yeah, I could see myself saying, Adeliza, how do you do this? You're like, I don't know.
I think it's routine, so it'll be plus 10, but then you're going to flip to fail because you're not trained in it.
All right.
Okay.
Routine. Ooh, didn't work out.
That is, so that is 1 ruined wolf. You want to still try on 4 more?
And there's no.
You could fortune point that if you like, but I think we know that I've got it's a store policy. As soon as we get up to 5 misfortune, we automatically have to bring more wolves in. So.
Store policy.
It's just like 7-Eleven, right?
Boss,
when there's $100 in the till, it goes right in the cash,
the GM manager says, nope.
Exactly.
There's 5. Nope. What do you think? Do I spend one, Jeff, or do I just roll through them?
I think you just roll through them. We save it. See if we get any.
Okay. So next one.
Next
Again,
one.
plus 10. All these are routine. Plus 10. Flip
We'll
to
get
fail.
meat. If we'll get meat out of it, if nothing else.
Okay.
Oh.
And botch that one. Go ahead.
There we go.
There you go. No, but flip to fail, though. Nope, that's a fail.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I looked at Adelaide and said, hey, I got one. You're like, no.
Look over here. It's all ripped.
No, no. No.
It takes a really special roll to.
Yep. No.
Oh, exactly the same.
Adelaide, no.
One more.
No. No.
Here we go. Come on.
There we go.
There you go.
The last one. You're
All
learning.
right. So you got
I learned.
one. Now, I think, let's see here. The spoils for this will be. It's under trappings. Ooh, rolls for pestilence, guys. Man, I'm sure these are not infected wolf carcasses.
Lice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bed bugs. Okay, commodities. Here we go. Hide of a large animal. You know what? This is a spoils 2 thing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Oh, that's
So sort of make it keep them track them separate is because you can kind of trade them one at a time. But
yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, and what you can, like, you roll them when you like cash them in to like see how much you get, or what?
I believe there's a bargain skill as well. Bargain is a fellowship roll. Yeah. What you can do is you can barter, and then what you get to do is, like, depending on how well you did and what your fellowship bonus is, in comparison to the person you're negotiating with, you can bump it up. So, like, what would be, a patronage 2 value thing, if you're really crafty and really, a good wheeler and dealer, you may treat it as a higher thing. So you're able to trade it in for a more valuable piece of gear.
Nice.
Okay. All right, so you got a patronage, so that's a spoils 2 thing. Anything else you guys wish to do tonight?
Let's see. Are your perils is neutral?
Yeah, and we already did that roll anyway. So
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think so.
Then the rest of the evening, guys, passes uneventfully. Because you have rekindled, you can swap out any techniques that you want for free. You reduce your damage condition by 1. Reduce your peril condition. I don't know. Are you fair? Because you're at 0 right now, right?
I'm at. I just went from moderate to lightly.
For peril?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
Yeah,
for
we-
damage.
Okay, yeah. And you guys weren't you at critical?
I was in moderate, I think. I got 2.
Yeah.
That's right. Because yeah,
Did you get?
I was
levels,
grievously
I'm pretty
wounded, and now I'm seriously.
Got it. Okay.
yeah. I think mine was 14, and that's 2 levels, and so I went down.
Right.
To
So
moderate.
so you weren't as badly bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
And then I
so
went up to lightly.
Morning
Down to
comes,
lightly.
you're going to have some, there's wolf meat you can eat here, so, I think you guys are fine with that.
Yeah.
Sean, why don't you give us a 1d6 roll? See if it's raining.
All right.
Or you give us a chaos dice roll, actually, so you don't have to go off the
Yeah,
character sheet.
chaos coming.
Here we go. Come on, order prevails. Still no rain today.
Okay.
So then, you
And I
guys...
figured out I had a chaos die chosen because I was playing around with it, and then I rolled the attack, and for some reason that caused a wealth of d6s to be rolled, and I do not understand why, but that's how it happened.
Oh,
There
interesting.
you go.
Yeah.
Chaos reigned, apparently.
Yes, yes.
All right. So then, with that morning, you guys head out. Now, as you guys are making your way along today, let's do this. Let's first... Oh, do you want to... you ate the wolf meat. I guess you could use it, cook that up and use that to eat for the rest of the day. Would you guys each give us an awareness check, please?
All right. Oh,
Anyone want a fortune point theirs, or...
leap at the wheel.
Oh,
No, I like us wandering into some horrible danger here in the last 20 minutes of the.
So it
Sure.
is. It's not. Let's see here. Yeah, you guys are. I think. Let's see who rolled worse. Adelaide. So you reach a point where you guys have. I think because of the rain and maybe there was a cistern or something at that farm, you just drank too much. You're having a chance to just relieve yourself. And so you off on the side of the road, you relieved yourself, and you're coming back. Would you kindly give us a coordination check, please? This would be a standard difficulty for it.
Coordination. Did something happen?
Did it prompt you for difficulty?
there.
Oh, that took forever.
Failed by one.
1 point.
You want to fortune point it, or are you gonna leave it?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Because, I have a 42% chance. No, let's save those
Okay.
trips and.
Well, the reason it was so difficult, I normally would have given you a higher one, but because you rolled so terribly in your awareness, you're walking back, you stumble and you fall, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And you get up in the mud, and you see there's this pale leg sticking out from underneath one of the trees, and you hear kind of a, and the leg gets pulled in and disappears underneath the tree. A human leg. Pale white, looks kind of young too.
Farrakis.
Yes. Oh, you need my help with this too?
I.
Oh, Farrakis, your tithe goes up by 1.
Oh, yeah.
Remind me again. What I know that's whispers, right?
Red bar. This is the whispers.
When it gets to 10, you have to do what the thing says, basically.
At 10, he takes minus 10 to his actions.
If you don't do what it wants. Yeah.
Exactly. And at 30, you die. So just click on your token and just add 1 to it.
Oh, it's on the token. Okay.
It's a red bar.
It's not on the sheet, right?
Yeah, tithe is on. No, so, man, like with how good these sheets are, I am super pumped for there to be a Blackbirds one.
Oh, right.
Because it's going to have all that shit on there, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, it's Blackbirds, not Zweihander. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like, it's still really good. Like, this is way better than what I expected.
Yeah.
We were rolling all this individually. They
Absolutely.
only updated these sheets this past week, too, with the release of the starter set. The new starter set. Yeah, so it's pretty great. And the Flames of Freedom one.
I mean, the games are pretty close. You know, I mean, they got some.
Yeah, it's only the change of like. There's a couple things that change with like some use encumbrance, some don't. Monetary stuff is different in each. And for this one, it's mainly the techniques. Like, imagine if we had it like with the way City of Mist does it, where you actually have cards on there. Oh. So you could like drag and drop shit on. That would be amazing.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So, what caused the what'd you just call it?
Tithe.
The tithe. What caused that?
Because you're a Nephilim. Every morning. Every day.
It's every morning.
Those things get a little stronger.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So you get up and Adelaza has tumbled down. This leg has disappeared underneath there. What do? You walk over,
you
Adelaza.
Need my help with this too? You don't know how to work this yet, huh?
No. Yeah, I think I found someone, and I kind of point with my. I'd actually take my sword out and kind of point where the
and you picture these
disappeared.
Are big, trees, big coniferous trees with a big skirting. So, and it's something they pulled themselves underneath the very bottom of it, where there's that kind of open, like dead area underneath.
I'll walk back there with my hand on my shiv.
Okay. Why don't you give us an awareness? I think routine. Like, this is not. You just got to fucking bend down and look. Really. So it's not that you're not gonna look at that. There you go.
Ooh.
Oh. What's your perception? Is a 6 or a 7? Bonus.
6.
So that's 12. Holy smokes.
Wow.
No. Sorry, that's a 3. So no, that's 12. Yeah, because that's a 3. So you get down, and what you can see underneath there is a very, very pale and very like not scantily as in like scandalous, but like their clothes are fucking rags. There is a woman who looks to be maybe in her like early 30s, and she's grabbing a child who looks to be maybe 10. They do not look well at all. There's scratches and sores on their things, unbelievably pale, and the child is sort of looking over like, oh no. And the mother seems to still be like just stirring as if they were sleeping underneath there. There's no beds or anything that's underneath there. And with a roll again that good, I don't think you even see there's an effort to set out like the way you would lay out like maybe some leaves or stuff like that to try and make it more comfortable to sleep on.
Farrakis, in his usual hilarity, says, "What on earth are you doing under there?"
Would you give us, let's see here, would you give us a folklore check, Farrakis?
Folklore.
Adelaide, were you bending down as well, too, or are you leaving it to Farrakis to see what's under there?
He looks into stuff like this. I still kind of have my sword, like, not really, like, drawn in, like, a combat stance, but it's sort of aimed at the hole, you know?
Yeah.
And you got it because you fell. You got up though, right? You're not sitting.
Yeah.
You're not laying.
No, I'm standing. I'm dirty, but I'm standing.
So folklore being asterisk, I guess it's
so it's actually not in Blackbirds. It's not a special skill in Blackbirds. Everyone's got access, so you don't flip to fail on this one.
Oh, thank goodness.
All right, standard folklore.
Just standard folklore, please. Oh, yes, standard folklore.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that, though. Wow.
Oh, nice roll.
Okay. Yeah. So you're looking at this, and there's just something that bugs you about them sleeping during the day. Because this is like right in the middle of the day, and the sickness they've got. You've heard that there is a kind of, they call it the blessing of Anhelios. Anhelios this is diving into a bit of lore here, but the kind of the god king emperor who founded the empire that predates the Republic, his name was Hyperion. Hyperion either was seduced by, was in a relationship with, or raped the the goddess of elves and magic, the Ace and magic, Hecate.
Ooh.
He slew Hecate, and in doing so also killed her as yet unborn half-breed child, Anhelios. And it's said that with the death of Anhelios, the curse of undeath came to these lands. And there is a marking that comes from these things. As a seasoned warrior, you've seen this before. And there are different stages of progression from this, and the more children of Anhelios that are together, the more they degenerate more fast. The other thing is if you get that shit on your weapons, it can corrode them with the curse of Anhelios. And the way, so you see that the mother is barely stirring. The girl is sort of looking at you. What this might suggest is they may be early in the stages of the curse of Anhelios. Not for nothing, characters can be infected with it, and there's a whole series of techniques that you get that is the curse of Anhelios. But what do you do? So, Farrakis, you know all this stuff. Adelaisa is still standing up, and you can picture these are right under there. You're bare, like they're keeping themselves so far away from the light, right against the trunk of the tree.
I say to Adelaide,
you know what you can do too? Sorry, I'll give you a little extra because you. It's a pre-gen in your new game and everything. Your odd sight. A quick glance in the odd would absolutely settle this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Takes a look.
So you flash, and I think what is the unnatural thing that happens? Is do your eyes go black? Do they glow or something like that? What is the marking?
Maybe it looks like maybe it just looks like it's just because it's a third eye situation, right?
If you're seeing it in the odd, then you'd see the third eye. Just Nephilim otherwise have really unnatural. There's something about them that characterizes them as clearly unnatural, and it's descended from those theurgs who bargained with outsiders.
I think it maybe it closes sideways.
It's so creepy. I love it. Okay, so your eyes, flash, and you see into this. There is absolutely something, and I'll let you build on your folklore success there. You can see something very unnatural, like almost writhing viper-like in the odd within both the mother and daughter.
Beyond an infection, beyond sickness.
Yeah. Like, this is not just that they're sick. This is whatever doubt you may have had about their nature. This is the early stages of the curse of Anhelios. These will soon becoming flesh-seeking things, and if they get in greater numbers, they even start exuding this corrupting mist.
Oh God.
There is so many layers of trouble here, Adelaisa. I don't know where to start as I move back. Just in
okay. So that is a perfect line. We cannot give that up as a perfect way of ending our first session with Blackbird, because we're almost out of time anyway. So that's great. So you stagger back, and his eyes flash, flicker sideways, and then he looks back at you and says exactly that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because we are at the end of our first weaving as well, let me just tell you what you would get for reward points. Let's see here. Here we go. Because that would give you an idea of what you would what you'd be able to buy stuff with. Award 1 RP to all players at the end of each weaving automatically, obviously. Award 1 RP to a player if their Blackbird made significant progress towards fulfilling the flock's dooming. You guys would each get 1 RP for that, because you guys are making your way to Norham. Purely at the Fate Weaver's discretion, award 1 RP to individually to any player who went above and beyond during the weaving. Well, guys, you jumped in and played 2 characters and made them come to such life for a game you didn't know we were playing until today, so that would be 3 RP. And then the way you would spend that, basically for every... so there are different kinds of bonuses. There's locked bonuses and unlocked bonuses. Unlocked ones are dictated by your path. They tell you what things are unlocked. So, for instance, like the bow and blade, CB and BB are both unlocked. They cost 1 RP per choice. The things that are not unlocked, they cost 2 RP at basic tier. For skill advances, for it is, let's see here. Oh, maximum of 2 bonuses, 2 bonus advancements in each attribute at basic tier, and then it goes up afterwards. Skills. There's a maximum of how many skill ranks you can raise per tier based on your intelligence bonus. Let's see here. That costs for unlocked things 1 RP, for locked things 2 RP. They're maxed at 1 skill rank per tier, basically. And then talents cost 1 RP. And they come from your what do you call it? Your path. And techniques cost 2 RP at basic.
Cool.
Weapon techniques only cost 1 though. So you'd have 3 RP. So that, to give you an idea of, like, that's what you would be able to purchase with your stuff. Figure out each session you get 1 or 2. Each weaving you get 1 or 2 RP, depending on that. But yeah.
One last question cool. Then that I would just have real quick.
Yeah.
Are there other techniques then that are like social ones?
Oh yeah, like there's a whole path that is just charisma stuff. The 5, I think there's 5 paths. The 5 paths are.
Okay. Yeah.
Where are we here? Oh, that's your ancestries. That's your skills. All right, here we go. The path of bow and blade, the path of charm and manipulation, the path of craft and expertise, the path of odd and ritual, and the path of shadow and subterfuge. So 5 different paths. Each of those have tons of techniques and talents underneath there. There's a different technique for every weapon they've got in the game. There are a ton of different boons for almost all the different ancestries. Not almost, but like all of them have different things. Humans have a huge variety of them. Yeah, there's an enormous amount of opportunity to specialize your character and customize your character. There's a cool, like, constant sort of flow of in-play things, like with your pursuing patronage and like keeping up your gear and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting decisions to be making. There's a whole role-playing process for getting new spells and stuff like that, and binding with new outsiders if you follow the path of odd and ritual. So yeah,
that's cool.
Cool.
What'd you guys think? First time playing Blackbirds?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
I really liked it.
Yeah. Me too.
I always like the. I think the percentile with criticals, that system of criticals, I think is just a solid structure that with the doubles above and below the target number, that kind of stuff is good. I think it's just an overall really nice structure.
I love as well that it doesn't just do more damage.
Yeah.
That's because I mean that's where things can get really wonky and unbalanced, is just when you're suddenly doubling damage flat or giving huge damage bonuses. The fact that it has other consequences. If you hit with a critical hit, your armor is going to be fucked up. That's cool stuff. Yeah. Jeff, any thoughts?
Like I said, it just playing it like this shows me that to really explore this game, you'd have to play like at least a little mini campaign or something to really get a feel for how it plays out long term. I like it. I think it'd be fun.
Me too. I think something has jumped up higher on the list of possible games for our holiday season. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, and I man, fucking awe. It was so great seeing you guys play it. It was that, you know, it's nice seeing it in my head how it worked out, and I love how tense that wolf fight was. Like, you guys really had some serious hero moments.
Absolutely.
You know, and like if you were playing a character that was more straightforward frontline, you know, fighting, Sean, I think like you would see more opportunities for Farrakis to shine. He just, the nature of his techniques, it needs to be a little more finessing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right? He's the guy who sneaks up and takes out the guard or takes someone out from behind. Or if you need to take the bad guy, you know, hostage, someone else engages him and he just, you know, takes him down.
He's got that the technique he has that's probably arguably a little more martial is you know, ranged, if he got his ranged going.
Yeah, and was sneaking in and taking out stuff. Or even like, man, completely.
Well, on an attack we had planned, as opposed to one that sprung on us, he would be
absolutely.
way more deadly. Yeah.
Cool. Then, guys, that brings us. So that's great. I mean, first time playing Blackbirds, I had an enormous amount of fun running this. Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's cool.
Lots of fun stuff, and you know, I think I didn't get into it, but I mean, there are. Because there's so much to Blackbirds, they didn't duplicate some of the stuff, some of the more like the travel rules or the, you know, more complex social interaction rules that are in Flames of Freedom or Zweihander, but they're completely compatible. So you can steal stuff from that and easily use it in this as well. If you want to expand it out, I don't need to see more player-focused stuff, but I would love to see more stuff about the world. There's a shit ton of adversaries in the core rulebook. There's an enormous amount of options for players. There's great rules for magic. Like, there's tons of great stuff in it. I'm looking forward to learning more about the world over the course of, like, if they published a campaign or something like that. I'd love a setting book more so than an adventure, but I'll take whatever more Blackbirds I can get just to learn more about the world. Awesome. Great. Well, guys, so then for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this maiden voyage with the, or maiden flight, I suppose, with Blackbirds. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the game we played or, you know, anything about that, I got a link down below to the Andrews McMeel website where you can get it, but like Blackbirds is like a lot of their Andrews McMeel stuff. Like, you can get it on Amazon at a discount. So like this is was on when I was on earlier at a 17% discount right now, and Flames and Freedom, which is the one we'll be playing on Sunday, that's on right now for like a 37% discount. So it's you can get some pretty sweet deals on these things. The books are not cheap, but they are gorgeous. And if I didn't hold it up, there you go. You can also get them through Drive-Thru RPG and get your hands on it that way too. They're not like $5 PDFs, but they're not the like $50 PDFs that you see from some other publishers. So you can also get a PDF there. I don't have a link to that down below because I didn't want to fill shit up, but you can also find it there. In addition, if you we have a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server. We don't have a channel dedicated to Blackbirds or I mean, to be honest, actually any Zweihander game, but we have tons of other. We got an assorted games channel. If you want to chat about this there. And a bunch of other great channels as well. Every other campaign we run on the channel, we have a link down there, or a channel there. Tons of great people over there. There's a terrific community that has built up. You are more than welcome to join us over there. Lots of helpful and friendly people. There's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, really terrific organization, active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. Including ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries at the time of recording. All money that is donated through that link goes directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to benefit the kids who benefit from those from their activities. And as a small way of saying thank you, we have two things we do. One of them is going to be our next charity raffle, which will be in December of this year. If you donated since June 15, 2022, every $25 Canadian that you donate will give you one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. We'll be doing the draw live, and I'll be rolling dice to determine who's getting what. Every $25 gives you one chance to win something, and if you want to see what was awarded on our last raffle, head on over to the Dungeon Musings Discord server's Charity Initiatives channel, and you'll see there what we gave away last time. In addition, there is a we're also doing a charity. What do you call it? Charity one-shot. Our next charity session will be at the end of November, and this weekend I'm going to get it set up. So tomorrow afternoon I'll get this set up. We're playing a channel favorite, Conan Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of, published by Modiphius Entertainment. It's the 2D20 version of a Conan RPG, and we've had a lot of fun with it over the years. Donors will be able to vote every week on a different element of the adventure to help us shape what it's going to be. And once that is over, we'll be playing it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We had a lot of fun with the donor-shaped session for All Flesh Must Be Eaten. I am definitely looking forward to the Conan one as well. The last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to Jeffrey and Sean for diving into Blackbirds, guys. What you gave me a fantastic first experience. Thanks so much for diving in with gusto into all the mechanics of this. Man, I had a fun time with this. Can't wait to run it again.
Yeah, it was good times.
So then, for those listening at home, we'll be back next week, or 2 weeks from now. We were going to be playing Call of Cthulhu tonight, but we were unable to do so. We'll be back with our Call of Cthulhu campaign in 2 weeks' time. If you're interested in seeing another powered by Zweihander game, on Sunday we'll be playing Flames of Freedom, the colonial, the American Gothic horror, colonial, America horror game. It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun as well too, so that's gonna be a fun session. Otherwise, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes encountered on their way back from on the road for war, or from war. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.